You're listening to Band Practice with Matthew and Krebs. Rock out with your cock out.
All right, and we are here.
Hi, Craig.
Here we
Craig.
are. Hi, guys.
We have Craig from, what band is it you play in now?
100-pound mirror? No, rear view mirror.
Rear View Mirror.
Yeah, grunge tribute. So,
All right.
Ooh.
well, thanks for having me.
So you're playing what, though? Like, give me, you say grunge tribute, so I need to know what you're doing.
Oh, okay. So
It's personal.
It's sort of changed a little bit. Whenever we first, okay, so let's back up. The very first meeting that I had with the guitar player Sean and the singer Jason, I had no idea what I was walking into. It was just like, hey, let's jam, and it was the typical all over the map kind of stuff. And, you know, everything from Skynyrd to whatever. And they were like, well, let's try whatever. Let's try Even Flow. Cool. All right. Haven't played Even Flow, I think, in like 20 years or whatever. So like I counted off 1, 2, 3, blah, and we go through the intro or whatever. And Jason starts singing, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. This kid sounded like Eddie Vedder was singing in the like to a fault.
The biggest obstacle for any cover band is the singer, hands down. Because especially, like, guitarists are a dime a dozen. And
We joke about that, yeah.
We're a fucking dime a dozen. Like, you can pick up a decent guitar player anywhere.
Yeah, you guys are plentiful.
Yeah. And if you don't have a bass player, you can convince a guitar player to go buy a bass.
Because you did to Jason.
Yeah.
Well, we did that to Wes.
Yeah.
So Wes did the same thing.
I volunteered to play bass in a band. Like, it happens. Like, it's...
Yeah, you played bass for a while.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's cool that you guys are able to straddle the instruments like that, because the knowledge transcends. Whereas drummers are we're just fucking stuck.
Drummers are much harder to come by, but the hardest thing to find is a good singer. Because
that was the thing. Like
even if you're not a good, like, even if you sing and you're not good, you can't cover that up. Like, you can cover up not an okay guitarist, you can cover up not an okay drummer, but if your singer is not good, there's no covering that up.
Right.
Because that's, like, for the casual listener is not a musician, that's what they're listening to. They're only going to hear, the casual listener's only going to hear your mistakes and the singer. That's it.
Yeah, more or less.
And then, like, if you're covering stuff as a singer, I mean, I have very limited experience in this, like a month with you guys. But, like, you've got two options. You want to, like, straight up do it as, close to the original as possible, or you got to make it your own. And yeah, you need to hit one of those specifically, and you have to hit it, like, confidently.
Yeah, I think you, and Krebs said it best. I think that, like, there's a lot of bands out there that are trying hard at doing everything, and they're doing everything and they're doing it all wrong. Like, you either have to make it your own, so you like do adaptations or interpretations of songs your way, whether that's in like a metal way or in a Tom Jones way or whatever your way is.
Yeah.
And bands around here lack that identity. Like they
go for the record.
Well, they're going for the record, but they don't have the talent to pull off the accuracy.
Yeah.
So it's like you get this amalgamate of some really good musicianship on a couple instruments. You get some mediocre instrumentation from the rest of the guys, and then a singer that maybe is delivering half-ass on everything because he can't. You're not picking music that's in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Whenever I heard Jason do Pearl Jam,
I have to cut you off. I've
Sure.
seen you guys play live like 3 times now.
okay,
Hands down, he is the best singer in any cover band I have ever seen.
appreciate that. Thanks.
He's
Well, I'm
an
curious now.
amazing vocalist. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Continue.
He's well, getting back to how it progressed, it was like I literally lost where I was at playing. Like, I got so caught up in the moment, like, and it's easy for me to do. Like, I'm easily distracted. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, a bunny. It's like, that's it. But whenever I heard Jason, it was just something else, and I was like, we got into a room, and I was just like, hey, huh? Oh, do
You want a koozie?
my beer needs a condom.
Yeah.
We practice safe beer.
Safe beer.
Safe beer. Appreciate it. Thank you. So
I would offer one to Krebs, but he goes through them too fast.
There's no point. There's no point.
just filtering them at this point. That's awesome.
It's part of my process.
Hey, listen, whatever keeps the beer cold, and if it means drinking it twice as fast, that's good. So we got into a room, and I was like, let me hit you guys with something. And they were very receptive to tapping into Jason's talent, like his abilities as somebody that could cover Pearl Jam and Candlebox and Tool, and and it's fortunate that we have the talents in the band that are able to play like Soundgarden and Tool, and now we're even exploring some new rock and some alt rock with like 500 Death Punch and Gemini Syndrome and bands like that. We're really pushing ourselves, but getting back to the basic thing was we asked Jason, and it was sort of like a little push, maybe over the edge, like we should really consider becoming a tribute act, but we can't do a band because one band from that era doesn't have enough material to go all night. Like if you do Boston, you can do Boston. If you do Journey, you can do Journey. I mean, and they're all out there. Like Billy Joel tribute act plays Galuppi's like every other Thursday, so they're there, and there's 700 people there. And we were like, okay, well, there's no one particular band that we could do and have it go all night. So why don't we just tribute ourselves to that era, that Lollapalooza 93 or 92, that was just...
It was a short blip, but there's still some good stuff there.
But the thing is that it all came out at once. It was like the giant turd of the record labels shat all at once, and they were so... And if you get back to the story of the day, it was like they were so worried about hitting a home run with a particular band that they signed everybody. I mean, that's how
How'd that go?
Well, I mean, you got bands like what was the one with
that's why like everybody in the 90s.
No Rain, Blind Melon. That's how they got signed.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And, Blind Melon got signed because of that, and it was funny because
I just heard that today. It always
Blind
makes me happy. Always makes me happy.
Blind Melon was billed as, this is the next Nirvana. Everyone's swapping out. This is the next Nirvana.
Well, he was doing heroin, so
he killed. Well, I'm pretty sure he killed himself before Kurt Cobain.
Did he?
I don't know. He's dead though. Fuck him.
Yeah, Shannon Hoon is. Oh, I think I'm clipping. No, that was you clipping.
Maybe.
Who's channel 1? That was
me.
you. Yeah. So you were clipping. Just by the way, I like your M box. Just saying.
It's not an M box. That is a Focusrite.
Yeah, whatever.
Scarlet Series 18i, and
it's pretty and it has lights, and I saw it go into the red.
It's cool. I got track automation on the Logic Pro that will fix it for me automatically.
Beauty, eh? As they say in Canada.
Yeah.
So, a lot of those bands during that era just got signed because the executives were just so concerned about missing another one. So they were busy signing everybody. So everybody, that's why you had such an explosion at that point, like Nirvana and everybody else, like Nirvana et al. And everybody came out. It like the shit literally hit the fan. Like they didn't know who to sign, so they just signed everybody and hoped it all fucking hit. And that's why you have so many bands from that area, including like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Alice in Chains and all the offshoot bands that occurred from all those guys. And all those musicians were really good, like.
I love Alice in Chains. They're like they're the metal band in the grunge scene.
Right.
Like they were definitely the metal guys. And it was funny, like as a guitarist, they were always one of my favorites when I was first learning to play guitar because they were always part of their great appeal was that their riffs were always like, the easy, simple working man can play these riffs, and they sound brutal as shit.
But Cantrell, though, on solos is just a freaking master. So he takes the simple.
He's very, very tasteful.
Yes,
and maybe not a beginner, but it definitely like once you get a little bit past beginner, you can nail his solos if you put in a little bit of time. Like he's not doing a whole lot that's just out there wild and crazy. He sticks to the basics, and he does it just extremely fucking tastefully. Like he just
I've always gravitated towards Alice in Chains, and not from a guitar standpoint, but from a melodic standpoint. And I always thought that, like, Sean Kinney, the drummer, like, always played tasteful as well. Like, all his parts, his standout songs to me were like No Excuses.
Yeah.
That was his song. And we do that one, and it's like, for many years, I looked at that song and I was like, I'm never going to be able to fucking play that. I can't play that song. And finally one day, and I couldn't have done this 20 years ago, but I put on YouTube and I put it 0.75, and I watched that first minute 25 times before I was able to even play along with it at 0.75. And then I just said, fuck it. I let off the seatbelt, I hit the gas, and it just came.
nice.
Something that I've been trying to listen to and wrap my head around for so many years, and I was able to get it, and I was like, okay, I feel myself coming into this. But getting back to the story about, like, how I proposed this, it was just sort of like, well, what do you guys think about this? And they're like, well, we can't because our bass player is going to move away. I was like, just so happens, I know a guy. And I gave Wes a call, and I'm like, well, here it is. This is, what do you want to do? I was like, because we have an opportunity here, but I have to convince them that we can't be all over the map. He's like, yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, let's go in. I'll play whatever you want to play. Let's hear this guy. And whenever we did the first thing, what was it, March, April, May, somewhere in there of this year, it was weird. Like, it was magical weird. And I know that Krebs had mentioned earlier while you were out of the room that, like, he's not in tune like a musician would be, but he's got an ear. And you just know when something clicks. You feel it. Like, there's a...
Well, I know. How do I describe this? I know.
You know enough to get yourself in trouble.
Well, I know how to deconstruct. How do I say this? A craft, because I've done stand up, and then I've gone and seen, like, real professional stand-ups live, and it's very similar to the way you craft the joke and you work an audience. The same with a band. So it's not hard for me to go, all right, I can see this on a different level, and I can definitely appreciate it. I'm not there with you guys.
I know how to set it up. I know how to deliver. I know where the punchline needs to be. I know how to wait for applause.
I also know where you lose me because you're so much better than I am. All right, I'm just going to enjoy it right now.
Come on now.
No, because you've earned that. You've earned that.
More rehearsed maybe in what I've done, but that doesn't mean I have any more raw talent, because for a long time, I really didn't feel like I was really talented.
I've tried to explain this to Krebs. I'm like, I'm not really that talented. I've just played for a long time, and
that's true. I think
I know some cool licks. I can do some stuff, but I'm not, like, talented.
And
I
listen,
wouldn't say it's talent. I don't have a good ear. I've had to blood, sweat, and tears for every little ounce I got on my.
Yeah,
on my
but
strings.
you know what, Matt? I mean, for the times that we've rehearsed and you've always come quick with learning a riff or whatever. But that's, I think, because you guys, you and friends of yours that you've been in bands with have always listened to such progressive shit. Just like very technical, very, very.
I'm going to take this moment to inject that As I Lay Dying.
Awesome.
Tim, their lead singer, is back with them, and they just put out a new track, My Own Grave. You should listen to it.
Yeah, it sounds really cool.
And they're not paying us to say that.
No, not at all. It's
No.
fantastic. I'm so excited they're back to fucking together.
But they should.
Fuck yes.
Either that or buy us a beer next time they're in town.
However, Schnebley's Wine, give us a call.
Yeah, Schnebley's, what's up? We've been plugging Schnebley's for no reason.
Because if we get, like, a free bottle of wine, like,
That would be awesome.
And just to think, like 2 years ago, they were on Groupon.
Yeah, I know,
it's
right?
like,
I think it was like we talked about the Groupons. Yeah. Well, when Alger was on, we were drinking mimosas out of the Schnebley glasses. And he was commenting on,
I think I heard some of that episode. So the Schnebley's glasses are the ones that, like, the old ones, you can get the
free tasting for life.
That's it.
Yeah.
The small ones, right? They're the smaller.
No. The small ones are the dessert glasses. So they have dessert wines there too. The small ones are dessert glasses, and then they have the regular wine glasses.
Uh-huh.
And the new ones say Schnebley's on them with the address and, like, Homestead, Florida Brewing Company or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
The old ones say Miami, Florida. If you
I think that's the one we have. Yeah.
If you snag onto one of those and you can bring those glasses to there on a Friday, Saturday night when they do the tastings and get a free
That's not
tasting.
very keto though.
I can't spell keto.
You don't gotta be keto every weekend.
Queto.
Yeah. You don't got to do it every weekend, man. Friday night.
Have a couple.
Yeah. Just a tasting.
I wonder how many carbs the lychee wine has.
It's all sugar. I'm sure it has a fuck ton.
You'd be dumping all day Saturday after a Friday night of that wine.
sure.
What are you, an LA housewife counting calories, son?
Listen, if
You look
if
good. That's all I'm saying. You look
if,
good.
if you cut sugar out of your diet,
Yeah.
and
That's
then
all of
you
it.
have like 40 grams of sugar one day, you know about it the next morning because that's all you do is dump. Like in the literal sense of the word, you just elbows on knees, and that's it.
All right, so speaking of dumping, this is actually totally not relevant, but I was thinking about you were talking about how they were just like signing every band.
Yeah.
And I've like hung out with friends and we've gotten drunk, and this question has been passed around a couple times, and I still have not been able to actually solidify my answer. But somebody once asked the question amongst my friends, like, if you could go back in time and just see one performance, what would it be? And it's hold on, let me give you my two. And it's gotten to two that I just can't decide on. It's between
Wow, this is good. I
It's-
like this.
It's between so before Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana, and Pearl Jam all blew up, they were touring small clubs,
Yes.
half full, and I thought that was my answer until I found out that Miles Davis and Jimi Hendrix played and recorded nothing for like an entire evening. I don't even know what that's supposed to sound like.
Wow.
Yeah, they were in a studio apparently together.
Yeah.
And just jammed. They didn't record shit.
Do you think that maybe is the basis for the what was it, the movie with the Oneaters? What I Like About You or whatever it's called?
The Wonders.
The Oneaters.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Oneaters.
Yeah.
it's pronounced Onetters. I haven't seen that movie in like 20 years.
But
Oh,
ma-
at the end when
at
he
the end,
I am
whenever-
Spartacus.
But
Yeah,
he
yeah,
plays
yeah,
the
yeah.
drums over the jazz piano guy,
Yeah.
right? And like held on to that for forever. But maybe that was like the inspiration for that, where he's like this,
Maybe.
seasoned drummer comes in, rockifies a song, goes on tour, plays with these guys, and then this jazz dude that he's always looked up to, hey, let's jam, roll this, like. Okay. So, like, wow, holy shit,
I
fucking
hadn't-
studio boner, it's
Yeah.
like,
I had never made that connection, but why would I? I haven't seen The Wonders in 20 years.
yeah, but I mean, that was the first thing that popped in
that's
my
not
head
a bad
whenever you
idea.
mentioned it. Like,
I could see someone like having that idea or hearing that story and then building a movie around it. So yeah, I can kind of see it.
That's one of my favorite Tom Hanks movies.
Why?
What do you mean, why? It's a
Yeah.
fun fucking movie.
now
It's
hold
not-
on, before we go on to Tom,
and
Tom,
Yeah, it's
Tom
fine,
Hanks
but
movies, I want to hear
justify it.
I want to hear Krebs's number two.
Oh, yeah.
Your
Well,
number
you're-
two.
Well, oh, yeah, your number two for the performances you could go back and see.
No, that was it. It was Miles Davis and Jimi Hendrix or Pearl Jam.
So we only get one?
Oh, okay, so
we only
that
get
was-
one?
No, I have been unable to figure out which I want more because one personally means more. One is like this was a one-time fucking thing. So
Oh,
I don't.
I absolutely already know my answer.
All right, give me.
Vulgar Display of Power Tour, Pantera.
Okay.
Before they blew up.
That would be my only. Yeah, no, because I think I've seen just about everybody else. That would
Because Far Beyond Driven, I mean, you were fighting with 20,000 other people
Yeah.
to see them
Well, I mean, I did get to see Dimebag play with Damage Plan. Fortunately, before he was
before
shot.
Cleveland or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck it was.
Yeah, I got to see him at the South Carolina House of Blues, and it was fucking awesome. And I got to hang out with it was him and Bob Zilla was the bass player, because we showed up like fucking 5 hours early to sit there at the bar and start drinking because nobody was there and they were there and hung out for a little bit. It was super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what happened to Dimebag Darrell?
He was shot on stage by some crazy fuck who was upset because Pantera broke up, and he was like,
A zealot.
yeah, he's like,
No.
you're
What-
dissing Phil.
What was his political affiliation?
I'm pretty sure he was about Hillary.
Yeah, he
Okay.
He was
Yeah.
a Hillary supporter.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but does it matter? No, he's fucking crazy.
No, this is Hillary's fault, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is Hillary's fault.
Sure.
I'm trying to think. like-
Actually, Obama was a senator at the time, so it's probably Obama's fault.
Yeah, but at the time, though, he said that we
didn't
needed
even
to
know he was
secure our...
He didn't even know he was Obama at the time.
No, because
Look,
at the time he was
he
making
was
speeches.
Barry.
He was making speeches about closing the borders and making sure that people came in legally. So, you know.
And have you actually seen like some of his like once he became president, like some of his like stances and speeches about immigration? He
Yeah.
wanted to like come after companies that hire illegals.
Close the
Trump
borders.
has never said that shit.
Listen, every single president up
It's tough.
until now has said, we want to move the embassy to Jerusalem. We want to close our borders. We want to lower taxes. Here you got a guy doing all that shit, and everybody's vilifying him because he has the wrong letter after his name.
And I had zero opinion on moving the embassy. The only thing I noticed was that Ben Shapiro and Bill Maher both agreed it was a good idea. I'm like, well, I'm good. Like,
He's the only guy to follow through, though. This is the thing. Like all
I've
the
heard that, yeah.
candidates, like okay, so
Well, you know-
Clinton's election campaign slogan was "Make America Great Again." Fuck off. Anybody who says "Make America Great Again" sucks. You elected the motherfucker that had the frickin' slogan. Fuck off. That's all I gotta say. I mean, "Make
mean,
America Great Again." MAGA. He had
I
it.
tell you what.
I was not aware of that, by the way.
Tell us how you really feel.
I just hate hypocrites. That's all. It's like one guy says it and he's okay. The next guy says it and he's not okay.
Well, because he has an R. You have
Exactly.
to have a D.
Right? RDI freaking F
Which one's F?
Federalist?
Is that still a thing?
I don't know. Wig?
Not for a while. We should bring back wigs. I would love to bring back wigs.
What the fuck did they stand for?
I don't know either. It doesn't matter because nobody else knows. We could just totally make it whatever we want it to be. But it's old, so it'll have like name recognition.
I have to say who the band I want to see.
Oh
Oh yeah. Okay, back to the question.
I want to go back to that
Yes.
because so the story of Tool, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
I do. Matt has told me specifically. He put on Tool and go ahead.
So the story of Tool, for those of us unawares, the story of Tool goes like this. Danny Carey moves into an apartment complex. He grew up in Midwest. Almost had a basketball scholarship, almost went pro. Comes out, starts playing drums. And he's playing on and off for bands and subbing and this and that and the other thing. And a couple of guys in his apartment complex say, hey, listen, it's the Rush story, but with Tool. Like, hey, you want to come in? You want to sub? You want to play? Blah, blah, blah. The band loved the guy, brought them to another level playing or whatever. And so they were like, we should play. We have something here. There's a chemistry. And you know what I'm talking about? Like whenever you have that like weird feeling that just something cool is going on. Whenever you go on stage and you just have that, there's something. There's a je ne sais quoi. You just go up and boom. And
I had it with Matt at Starbucks. We were screwing with a guy who I think was taking surveys or trying to get signatures. And we hadn't hung out much, but I just remember, like, I would say a joke, and it was a setup for you that I wasn't trying to set you up, and then we kept going back and forth. And the guy was just like annoyed because we just refused.
Forget it, man. I don't want your signature.
We refused to give him what he wanted, and then he walked away. But I wanted to pull him back, like, hey, we didn't plan this. Do you know how awesome this was?
you were part of something magical.
Yeah.
That was the first. That was like the first time I remember hanging out with Krebs and being like, "This guy's awesome."
How old were you guys at the time?
Oh, was it?
I was like, I had to be 20. I think I was 23, 24.
So post high school. You guys met like
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I'd already-
basically just got back from the Marines.
Yeah, I was already out of the military.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
all right. So that's so there's a magic that happens, and it's
Yeah.
like
It's screwing with people.
Tool got a gig. I forget if it was the Whiskey or whatever. It was someplace in LA. So they get one gig, and they play the gig to like some really close friends and a couple family members, and that was it. They get asked back, and they play their second show, and all of a sudden there's like 150 people at this place. Like, okay, all right. And then they get asked back. The next time they play, it's sold out. And they're like, all right, okay, we got something here. And the next time they play, there are executives in the audience. and they're watching them.
You got old white men to come out.
They're shopping them. Like, well, I mean, at the time it was like, remember I don't know if you saw the what's the nutty guitar player's name? That freaking real cerebral.
Buckethead?
No, dead guy.
Dead guy?
Yeah.
Crazy dead guy?
Shit.
You're really gonna have to get more specific.
Yeah, that's
Damn it! I'll think of it in a
that's
minute.
a
He had
wide berth, son.
He had like
I told you, bro. Guitars are a dime a dozen. Dime a dozen, bro.
Mustache and a soul patch. What the hell was his name?
Not helpful.
Wacky guitar player.
I'm just picturing Weird Al
Flip.
with a guitar. I'm sorry.
I'll come back to it later. I can't fucking remember. So at any rate, Tool plays that show. They get signed, and Opiate hits, and that's how they got started. If I could, I want to go back and see them record Opiate, like those live songs.
Yeah.
That show that they did. I want to see that show. Like, that would be the one, because they had a couple live songs on there. They only got like so much studio time. Like, these executives were just like, here, fucking, you got 10 hours, do it. And then, oh, you got a couple live songs that you played at the Whiskey or wherever the hell you were? Cool, throw them on there. And boom, they had an EP, and they released it, and 7 songs later, they're like one of the greatest technical progressive rock bands of all time.
I didn't like them until you played that one song for me.
Which one?
Oh, it's the one where he's singing about how some guy's calling him a sellout.
Oh,
Hooker with a Penis.
Hooker with a Penis.
And I'm like, oh my God, I get it now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you sell out when it's worth it to sell out. And then you make every idiot wear Tool across his fucking chest and wear your shirt. Oh my God, this is trolling to a level I did not realize could be done.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
then you go make your own, like, your fucking own wine.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
or whatever the hell you want to do, or drive a fucking orange Lamborghini.
Well, yeah. Maynard has a winery now. Like he has his own wine.
Yeah. And apparently, I've got a picture of this. Apparently, someone looked it up, or someone asked him, "Is his wine vegan?" He goes, "Holy shit, it is! I'm sorry." So he's got like pictures of him like dumping bacon into the vat.
It's too vegan. We have to, here's a dead sheep I'm dipping into the fucking vat. That's fucking awesome. But if that was if I had to go back to a concert, that would be the one. Like, I want to see them.
Personal for you, like, and it's also it's you're gonna see things you would not see.
I was never that big of a Tool fan. Like Tool to me was like Sidecar. Like, that was like, for me, getting into music. It was, and we talked earlier. Rush and Dream Theater to me were like the 2 pinnacle bands, because they were just so fucking complex and crazy. The drummers were just out of their minds, and I wish I could do that. And Tool was always sort of there. They were just sort of cruising. And not until I went back when I was challenged to play some of these songs. Like, I remember me and Matt were in a band called 100 Pound Test, and
We did Sober.
Paper Street Soap Company before that. We played Sober.
I would have liked to have heard that.
And I think there's video of it somewhere. Yeah.
It was that was actually I think that was one of our best songs, and it always got the best reaction out of the crowd because nobody saw it coming, and
The place
we fucking
stopped
nailed it.
dead.
Yeah.
The place would stop dead. Like, everybody would stop what they're doing. The kitchen staff would like lean over out expo window and
Nick
be like,
Brown would lean out.
well, that was to watch his brother. But we just had that song, and
Yeah.
and I watched. I can't tell you how many YouTube videos of people fucking it up, and like finally seeing this weird video of Danny Carey playing it live from a GoPro over his shoulder on the gong.
Behind him.
Yeah. And I watched him play that song. I was like, we gotta fucking play this. Yeah, okay, I can do this. And finally just getting it together enough to muddle through that song and being able to pull it off. And we would play it and the place would stop dead.
I've known cover bands like refuse to do Tool because they find them like sacred. I'm like, you think they're sacred because Tool doesn't?
Tool is their own running joke, like that, and like
Yeah.
you alluded to it, like Hooker with a Penis is all about it, like, and even their website, it's like, we study the sacred art of crying as therapy. I mean, like, fuck it, everything they do. And okay, so let me go back to the days that I used to live in Pittsburgh. I bounced at a club called Nick's Fat City back in the day.
That sounds interesting.
Nick's Fat City was Pittsburgh's Hall of Fame of rock and roll. There were stars on the floor to all the like rock and roll legends, and Joe Grishecki always played there, and Bruce Springsteen would show up, and I can't tell you, I seen Hootie and the Blowfish play there 2 or 3 times, and I've seen Cold and Chevelle and Evanescence and worked those shows, and the Clarks and all those bands that ever show enough, Grapevine, the bands that I've worked for, the bands that played while I was working there. And I mean, I did everything there. I ran pizza, made pizza. I bartended, bar backed, ran sound, bounced. I did everything in that club. Everything you could do, I did it. And the one gig there was Pygmy Love Circus. And Pygmy Love Circus showed up. And it turns out that that's Danny Carey's side project from L.A., like his L.A. buddies are in this band. I think the one guy's name's Mike Savage.
I have no idea.
But they play the Theory of Beef or something like that was the name of the tour.
I know he had a side thing or whatever going on, and Maynard always goes to the shows.
Yes. Well, this is where it gets interesting. So we're there, and we're there and setting up, and Danny Carey is doing sound check, and a friend of ours runs a bar down the street. So Big Mike from Casey's Draft House is the name of the place. He came down to check out sound check, and all the bar guys know one another, and I was working there at Nick's Fat City, and I was super early for my shift because Amy had to work or whatever it was, and she dropped me off. So I'm at Nick's Fat City. It's like 3 p.m. for an 8 o'clock show, and I'm watching the band load up, and here's Danny Carey on his brass kit that's made from melted down pasty cymbals, and he's playing the fuck out of it. He's doing paradiddles, hands and feet. So top and bottom.
What the fuck?
Hands to feet paradiddles. Like both hands would hit, both feet would hit, but quickly paradiddling. So like back and forth, like top and bottom. Holy shit, me and Mike were just like, what the fuck? We're done. So after the show, I actually right before the show, I was helping Danny Carey like navigate the club. Like, him and his bandmates, like, okay, so this is how you get to the back entrance. This is how you get to the green room. Here's these stairs. Here's these stairs. What do you guys need to drink? I'd help run a case of beer down or whatever. At the end of the night, he's like, hey, do you mind helping? Sure. So I helped tear down Danny Carey's brass kit.
Nice.
Handing him the parts off stage as he placed them in the road cases, and we wheeled them out to the van or the trailer or whatever the hell he had parked outside. And afterwards, Mike is like, you guys want to go hang out at my club down the street? Sure. So walk our asses down to Casey's Draft House, and we start drinking. And he's like, listen, it's 2 a.m., and if they come by and we're still here, we need to, we're going to get in trouble. So let's go upstairs. So we had to kick out all the normies, and I'm holding up air quotes. We had to kick out all the normal people, the patrons, everybody. So we, last call, blah, blah, blah. They shut it down, and we go upstairs, and we start drinking. And he's like, hey, by the way, Maynard was here. What? Get the fuck out of here. No. The guy downstairs in the flannel, the red flannel with the trucker cap and the black wig and the glasses. Yeah, that was Maynard. I was like, why didn't you just tell him to stay, dude? Like, you should have just told it. No. He doesn't like to stick around, and he got out of here anyway, but he never misses a show. So for everybody listening out in L.A., get your ass to the Baked Potato on Monday and go watch Danny Carey do open mic. Just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, you might catch a glimpse of Maynard floating around somewhere.
Definitely be there. I swear to God, he never misses a gig. Never.
I've read that before in articles that he always goes and watches Danny's bands, or he's like super supportive and stuff, which is cool.
I think, and there's something to be said about.
Which is better than Metallica, because according to James Hetfield, there's only room for Metallica.
I wouldn't go see
cocksucker.
Lars on a dare because he's terrible. But my take is there's a connection though.
Metallica's not a drum band though. They are a guitarist band.
You're right.
That is a band of guitarists, and
Listen, even if
they're awesome.
even if you count Lars, there's still not a drummer in that band.
I'm not gonna counter that.
There is no
There's-
counter. There is
yeah,
anybody who's ever listened to the song One knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you have any background in music theory or have ever listened to a song in your life and you know just a little fucking bit, you're like, this band is no good. And whenever it comes to drums, guitars, and that's not even my forte. Like, that's not something that I know just enough to get me in trouble. Like I can piss a guitar player off in 10 seconds. Like, no, you got to drop your 1K, man. Your mid range is too. Like, I can piss a guitar player off quicker than you can say "holy fuck."
Well, Metallica was my lifeblood Metallica was the reason I got into music. Like,
Which is awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
because and for anybody listening, Matt is a fucking awesome guitar player. Like, we're breaking the wall here. So
we have the wall. We do whatever we want, man.
Well,
we don't answer to anybody.
okay, so me and you used to be in a band together. So a little background here. So you and I were in a band together. I met you as a patron whenever you were bouncing over at the bar.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, I play guitar. I was like, well, I play drums. And you were like, well, we should get together and jam one time. And it was like fucking really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, this cat knows what he's doing. Motherfucker.
I'm glad somebody does.
Holy shit. Well, I mean, and you played me some video of stuff that you used to do. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to play that. Like, holy
Well,
fuck.
The Until Return Red stuff we did with Jason Brown and Daniel Papacosta and Buki and Shu, like, that band was fucking awesome.
We're looking at the poster here in the studio, and that's fucking cool as shit, man.
Yeah, that was a good time, man. That was a great time.
And you showed me video. You guys were crazy. Like, that was
We gave no fucks. We really didn't.
what genre was that? It was
All
like
of it.
it was metal,
We were just metal.
but it was progressive.
No,
Oh, come on. Now give
really-
yourself some credit.
we-
I mean,
we
you didn't
really-
follow
we really-
Nashville rules when you played.
we really had a theory, and it was fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, semantics aside, though. I mean, yeah.
It was really more fuck you in your subgenre.
But it was a great band, though. I mean, like you guys were all there. Thank you very much, Krebs. Krebs has returned with some beers, and they're
Yeah, and it was really good too, because everyone in that band, we'd all known each other for years and years and years and years and years and years before we started playing together. So like when we actually did start playing together,
you had a chemistry right away.
We already knew each other. Like we'd all gone to school together. We'd all hung out at parties. Like we were all Ridge rats.
Right.
So,
You've all probably banged the same girl too.
yeah. No, that's a
Just
thing.
one, though.
Only one time.
Actually, I think me and Jason Brown are on like 3 or 4, somewhere in there.
Matt is up to like I think his number is 2.5.
Is one of them trans?
Maybe.
No, he only just a tip. He got coerced. Just the tip, so that's only counts as half.
Yeah, but no, that band was so much fun, and I was hanging out with. It was literally.
Well, you guys were so fucking technical. I mean, and I'm not like stroking you here. I mean, you guys were doing
Not yet.
stuff that was
We don't-
edgy.
We were not.
Krebs, get the butter.
We were not technical. We were not.
No, seriously, no, you guys were
Doesn't
technical.
sound like you guys.
We were not technical. This is our writing process consisted of, hey, we're gonna have practice today. Bring beer, okay, and then is literally what we're doing right now. We just drank and talk shit, and then we're like, hey, this riff's cool. Cool. We need a riff to go with it. How about this? Move it up a half step. Sweet. Do that. Okay. How many times do you wanna do it? 4.
okay, so well, which is okay. So under its most basic, you know, if you were to break it down into its most basic parts, that sounds very pedestrian and very boring. But now
But if it gets you to the right answer every single time,
elevate that to the fact that they were able to pull that random ass shit off every single show, note for note, and like go from this one random part to the next random part that sounded cool to the next random part that sounded cool. It was very progressive, very metal, very.
We were metal. That was all of it. We were metal.
But you didn't follow any rules, and that in itself is difficult. That because there's no pattern.
We used to joke. Well, me and the singer had this running joke for the longest time. I told him, I was like, bro, we're gonna do a whistle solo in one of our songs. It's gonna happen. And he's like, shut the fuck up. And I used to show him which Alice in Chains song is it where they whistle. I forget.
oh god damn it, I can hear it in my head right now.
Yeah, I kept showing it to him, and I was like, they whistle, bro, and it's heavy as fuck. And he's like, we're not whistling in a fucking song. And I swear to God, like a month later, I think it was Jason shows up with this bass line, and I start playing a riff over top of it. And it was just came out great, and it wasn't real heavy. It was an intro riff. It was just smooth and
melodic.
Yeah, it was just perfect. And our singer Shu just starts up to like right over top of it. And I was like, oh yes.
Here's our whistle solo, which reminds me, you know Saigon Kick, right?
Heard of him.
Okay, kazoo solo.
Oh, is that
Da 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 da.
I was literally about to say, I saw this article, I think it was 3-4 years ago. It said Macaulay Culkin, who was in some like punk band or something, storms off because people refuse to stop talking over his kazoo solo. And I'm like, I don't want to read this article because this headline is fucking awesome. It has everything I need. And then I found the video, I'm like, and it's even better.
That's fucking incredible.
It was some like pizza, I don't know, like oriented punk band or something. They like everything was pizza. They were like pizzas on their face. I thought it was stupid, but I felt like if I was set for life, what would I be doing? Stupid shit, 'cause I don't care.
Yeah, you make all your millions as a 10-year-old and freaking fuck off.
Well, I think we mentioned it before. The movie Saved.
Oh yeah, great movie.
Great fucking movie. Mandy Moore.
I'm not
and-
big on movies, you know that.
Okay.
Like I don't know a whole lot of
It
movies.
was like a B movie. Like
Do you hate Joy?
Is she cute?
I know one.
yeah. Anyway, so Saved was like this B flick. It was about this chick and going to church and her little group of Christian girls, and one of them gets pregnant and they ostracize her, and her boyfriend that got her pregnant is actually gay, and
Yeah.
like this whole stream of shit. Well, the main
Well,
little
if you
leader-
got a chick pregnant, you're at least bi.
Well,
all
she-
right, I got
well-
news for
No,
you,
no.
dude.
No. She
No, she-
banged him because she thought the Lord wanted her to stop him from being gay.
Because she hit her head in the pool, and the pool guy looked like Jesus.
Yeah. There was this, it was fucking. It's so good. God, it's so good.
My eyes are rolling around like
so-
slot machine
so-
wheels at this point.
Macaulay Culkin, like, is just the icing on the cake for that fucking movie. He is so good in it. Oh my God, he's good. He plays this handicapped dude in a wheelchair, and he plays the younger brother of Mandy Moore, who is the ringleader of the little Christian girls group or whatever.
Okay.
And she's like an evil bitch actually, and like he's just an asshole. He doesn't give a fuck, and they all go to this private Christian school, and just kind of to be a dick, he starts dating the only Jewish girl there. And like they're
Is
going
that
out,
bad?
it's funny, and they're like going out back and smoking cigarettes, and like at one point like her sister like confronts him like, she's not even Christian, she's Jewish, and he's like, what?
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's got one of my favorite lines where the Christian Mandy Moore, like, her arguments just aren't working, so she throws a fucking Bible at her friend's head, and her friend like picks up the Bible and goes, "This is not a weapon." I'm like, "Can I get this broadcast everywhere?"
Wait. Frank Zappa. That's the weird guy with the guitar that I was talking about earlier. He talks about. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
It
it's fine.
freaking hit me like a freaking freight train. I had an epiphany.
And now I see it. Okay, thank you.
So Frank Zappa made mention. He's on Facebook all the time. That black and white clip of him talking about how the executives back in the day signed whoever the fuck because they didn't know. These old cigar chomping like the quote goes something like, these old cigar chomping executives would sign anybody because they didn't know what was good or what was bad. And then they got all these hippies in who thought they knew what people liked. And they were like, no. We can't sign you. People don't like you. So you were better off with cigar chomping executives who were willing to sign anybody who didn't know shit about music than artists or critics, air quotes, who came up and they were like, well, hire the coffee boy. He might know more about music than us and know what the kids like. And they're willing to ostracize or not sign people because the kids wouldn't like it. So are you limiting art by hiring people who you think know more? And he said we were better off having the cigar chomping old executives who didn't know shit, who were willing to sign anybody and bring any art in and expose it. And if it hit, great. And if it didn't, oh well. So that was, it just came to me. But
I should have been born earlier because I want you to throw money at me to go find something because I'm long enough time scale. I'll probably find something.
Okay, so what was Krebs? Question for you: What was the first album you remember buying?
This is before I actually discovered what good music was. So
Obviously, it's the first one you bought.
I bought Dangerous Minds, the soundtrack, because I wanted that
Coolio?
the Coolio song. Yeah. And I had just gotten to a private Christian school, and my friends were like, "Why do you have that and Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer?" I'm like, "Because I came from an orphanage in Michigan. That's all we had."
What about you, Craig? What was the first album you bought?
The first album I bought with my own money was the CD Power Windows by Rush. I can honestly say that. I had other CDs, but they were given to me. But
Okay.
the one that I bought with my own money, I saved up for it and went to NRM, which was National Record Mart, and I bought Power Windows by Rush.
Nice.
Yours?
It's embarrassing. The first album I bought was Jagged Little Pill from Alanis Morissette.
Don't be embarrassed by
It
that.
holds up well.
No.
I
Well,
like it more than the acoustic redone. She's like,
so hold on a second.
The acoustic redone, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But yeah,
that would have been embarrassing.
But and I find it embarrassing for this fact. The reason I enjoyed that album so much was because my parents had recently divorced, and my mother was playing that shit on fucking repeat,
yeah.
and I really liked it. But the reason she liked it was because woman power. I'm a single mom. I can do that. No. It's no. It's fucking stop it. Stop. Yeah.
But why
that-
did you like it, though?
Because it was
Or
all-
why did you come to like it?
because it was played all the fucking time. I enjoyed it, and I thought that was heavy music at the time because I was little and I didn't know what's going on. And then I remember specifically after that, I came down to visit my dad, and I was like, "Oh man, check this out! I got this." And he kind of looks at me and he goes, "Hold on!" And he goes into the closet and he pulls out. You remember those old tape cases?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
he pulls one
They
out.
slide out.
Yeah, he slides this thing out and he gives it to me and he goes, "Check this out." And inside of there was Slayer, Diablos and Musica. What else was in there? There was a bunch of Anthrax, Saigon Kick.
That's awesome.
Some every Metallica, Megadeth, Rust in Peace. Like, oh my gosh, there was just so much good shit in there. And I remember the first one I pulled out was Alice in Chains, Jarflies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I ran through that and I was like, and I was like, oh wow, this is really good. And then I remember I pulled out one and it was Slayer and it had a really cool cover and I was like, oh, this has got to be good. And I remember listening to that and I remember thinking like,
holy shit.
and I was like, is this okay for me to listen to? Like, I almost felt like I was doing something wrong. Like, am I okay to hear this?
Me when I found porn on the internet. This
Yeah.
okay? This is okay?
Yeah, this is the thing.
I
Like,
feel dirty. I feel dirty.
And then I immediately the next time I got $20 and I remember I walked all the way up to Best Buy and I was like, I'm gonna buy a new CD. I want a CD, like, because CDs were the new cool thing.
Right.
And just pure dumb luck, Load had just come out
Oh.
from Metallica, and it was all over Best Buy when I walked up there. And I walked in and I was like, oh, Metallica, they're heavy. Let me, I had just finished listening to Master of Puppets. Like, I want this. Give me this.
Load's not bad though. Like
No,
I mean,
no, it's not. It's more, but it's not. It's not Master of Puppets. It was Load was kind of more like that biker metal style.
I think
like,
it was their come around album because
It was
like
like-
Black was like way commercial. They went from being almost underground metal to being like overly commercial.
Yeah.
And that was like their swing back. You know,
Well,
the
Load-
pendulum coming back.
Load was very, but it wasn't the metal they were before. It was like a way more blues.
Well, right, yeah, the
influenced, like-
pendulum was coming back. It definitely wasn't Master of Puppets, but it
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
you know the Black album
But
either.
anyway,
it was
I-
like.
I still love that album. It's amazing.
But wait, let's back up a second because let's talk about this. Let's talk about Jagged Little Pill and specifically some of
You're
the songs. No,
no, just fucking-
No, I took a shower. I washed it off.
the priest said it was okay.
I have only one issue with that album, and that's "You Ought to Know" is about Dave Coulier from Full House.
Well,
And
once you know who it is, then it's all spoiled.
weird because there's that line where she's like, when I went down on you in the theater, I'm like, you fucking gave a blowjob to the guy from Full House. Okay,
Cut
I
it
can't-
out.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
So Krebs, this is your
you-
test
you-
right now. Now
you-
hold on, wait.
You know what the best part about that album is?
Who played bass?
On what?
Jagged Little Pill.
You ready
I
for
have
this?
no idea.
You ready? Mind blown.
It was
Mind blown.
All the music on that album was recorded by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Really?
Yeah.
I
So
was not aware of that.
Flea and I think it's
well,
John Frusciante.
I think they all made appearances, but Flea
was all over.
played
Yeah.
bass throughout.
So
I
the
thought
reason
she,
the music on that album is so kick-ass is because it's the fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I thought she did it because she's God, right?
Which was filmed in Pittsburgh.
Are you sure it was filmed in Pittsburgh and not Jersey? Because I feel like everything Kevin Smith does is in New Jersey.
It was filmed in Pittsburgh.
I don't believe you.
Unfortunately, I knew that.
I don't believe you.
All the scenes were filmed in the South Side because we had
I don't
fucking
believe you.
street closures,
I don't believe you.
traffic.
I'm gonna just go ahead and call it New Jersey.
Call it New Jersey. Call it chocolate cake. I don't care. We had to sit in traffic because that bitch was filming a fucking movie down on the South Side. Bars were closed. Cameras were everywhere. If you left the bar at 2 a.m., you had to go Carson Street because you couldn't get up Josephine. Oh, fucking A.
You've already lost me.
Yeah, Northerners and your
They
fucking street
had
names.
so like on the south side of Pittsburgh, there's only like 3 ways out of the
You mean New Jersey?
yeah, whatever. Call it fucking Nova Scotia for all I care. I'm down
Great
here in
White
Miami
North.
now, right? Fucking Snowville. That's all
Yeah.
I gotta fucking say. But there's only 3 ways in and out of the drinking part. You know, every town has a drinking part. So to get in and out of the drinking part, where all the bars are, and they have all the food and all the bars and all the cool places, there were 3 ways. Well, if they're filming over here tonight, there's only 2 ways out. Fuck you. Holy shit. Like you're in traffic an hour and you're sloshed and Pittsburgh City Police has, you know, a checkpoint here. So now
Oh, it makes their job so much easier.
50-50. You know, it's like you can't go this way. Yeah, fuck off. Holy shit. Yeah.
You ever hear
There's the Pittsburgh accent I was waiting for.
Yin's guys going down south side and that? You're going to go check out Donnie Iris over in Nixie City and that, huh?
I've been waiting for it because there's a guy that
That's the Yinzer.
there's a guy that I met who was originally from the Ukraine. So he spent half his life in Ukraine and the other half in Pittsburgh. So he's got a Pittsburgh Ukrainian accent. I could not even begin to try to recreate that. It's just weird. The best thing
I could do Mother Russia, but I can do, you know, Mother Russia and Yinzer at the same time. Fuck that.
I know, but this guy could do it, and it was like that's not natural. Like, and the only way I can describe it was like every third word was Ukrainian, every other word like it was. They would just go up and down, but this guy did it seamlessly. I'm like, I'll bet you're the only dude like this, like ever.
You know what really freaked
We
me
go
out?
to Permanente Brothers. And that.
I worked at FedEx, and I get hired there, and my boss was this Chinese dude, right? And so I go up and talk to him for the first time. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He goes, yo, man, how you doing? And I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
and I was like, caught off guard, and I was like, what the fuck?
it's like a bark.
Straight,
It's like a barking cat.
yeah, like straight Jamaican style. And I was just like trying to keep a straight face, and I was thinking about in my head the whole time, he's fucking with me. He is fucking with me, right? And then
Your brain's doing a
Yeah,
million
I'm like-
miles an hour.
I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Didn't you have like a guy in your unit or something who was like he lived half his life in Scotland, then half the time.
We had a guy. So he was born in the U.S. and then when he was like 1 or 2 years old, he moved to England, and he lived there till he was like 18 or 19, and then came back and joined the Marines. I think his brother was a Marine too, but yeah, he had the English accent, and bro, the guy didn't even have to try to get laid. Anytime we went anywhere in the States, he would just talk, and like girls would just swarm.
Melt.
Yeah, it was fucking.
Wherever he was, they were just like.
Yeah.
But you told me you guys like ran into like an English unit, and they were
So okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
So the British Royal Navy did some cross training because I worked on Harriers, right? So they have Harriers too. So the whole idea was we're gonna do cross training with these guys. We're gonna see if they can use our aircraft carriers and we can use theirs, or shit hits the fan, World War III contingency shit. And so we go out drinking, and we run into a couple of these guys out at the bar out in town, and we're hanging out, whatever. And he goes over and says something, and they look over and they're like, fuck you, quit fucking with us. And he's like, no, man, I'm from there, whatever. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, they were ready to throw it out and fight. Like, it was on. Like, they thought he was fucking around, like faking an accent. Because I guess he'd been over here so long that his accent wasn't as, I don't know, pure anymore.
Right.
And
well, there's a couple different there. There's like the hooligan, and then you got like the North Londoner and all that bullshit. Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
There's the one. The hooligan is all vowels. That's the one that's all vowels, right? That's I don't know.
Sure, why not?
Oi,
You got me. I and that.
Isn't it?
It's all vowels. There's no consonants at all. Like most punk music, it's all that.
I live here, and we kicked England out, so therefore I feel no need to understand anything they do, really.
Tea belongs in the fucking harbor.
I like tea, but
As long as there's no tax on it, or whatever.
Tea belongs in the fucking harbor.
I like tea, but I'll be honest, when I drink it, I feel slightly less American, just like a bit.
Yeah,
To piss it out.
you should.
Well, every place drinks tea except for America. I think it's like we drink iced tea.
We drink coffee because coffee is tea with balls.
America.
Coffee's nowhere near tea, but I'll go with that because I love me some coffee.
I love
I'm
me
a
some
coffee
caffeine.
freak. Like me and Matt were talking earlier today.
Yeah.
He's not much into coffee anymore, but
No, not anymore.
I'm a coffee fucking fiend. I love coffee all day. I drink coffee all day.
I worked at Starbucks for 2 years, and I actually learned my upper limits of loving coffee. When you ever drink so much, you're pretty sure your shit is acidic. I've done that a couple times.
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't it not watered down either. Like just black coffee.
racist.
How am I racist?
Racist.
I like black
Are
coffee.
you expecting me to make sense? Because I don't know what I'm saying.
I like coffee like I like my men.
Black?
And dark.
and equally
strong.
fair, and equally fair trade.
As long as they're earning a living wage. Hashtag Democrat.
Hashtag triggered.
Triggered.
Somebody's gonna hear this and get triggered.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm hoping for it. I'm waiting for it. We don't have haters yet. I want haters so
Oh, no,
bad.
we got haters all over Twitter.
Oh, well, that's just you, though.
Yeah, it's just me being a dick. Because I purposely... So I started the Twitter account, and then I purposely started following like a bunch of Bernie Sanders supporters.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
and, like
So the seeds of
anti-Trumpers
dissent.
on purpose. And then just... Man, they are so easily fucking triggered. Fuck, they are so easily triggered. I just started like commenting on everything they post, like hashtag lock her up. Hashtag facts don't care about your feelings. Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, and I...
All right, Craig.
Hold
I got
on,
a question.
hold on. I wanted to like mention your Twitter account because I have a friend who like went to school for like social media, like she's literally got a degree in this shit, and I told her like what we're doing. We're just hitting up all the social media whatever. It's like we don't really care. We don't have a plan. I mean, this podcast isn't a plan. We drink and talk shit. We were gonna do that anyway. We just hit record. So
It's really just a good excuse to hang out with my friends and drink beer.
So she was telling me like, well, your friend Matt shouldn't be doing what he's doing. I'm like, why? It's like, Because he's just spamming. He's
Yeah, I'm spamming the fuck out of people.
He's just trolling. That's not helpful. Fun fact: she fucking hates her job now. And why would I tell you to stop? It makes you happy.
I enjoy it. It's fun.
I love your happy face so much. I put it on fucking t-shirts. Like, why?
I think there's just some people that don't have enough to do, or they're doing the wrong thing, and they're so worried about what everybody else is doing. It's like, so Matt is on social media trolling people and doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. Like, there are people that are concerned about that. Like, maybe you should do more laundry, or do your dishes, or clean your fucking floors, or whatever. But like, you're worried about what other people are posting on fucking social media. Get a fucking life.
And some people just wake up with like, all right, I've got 12 things I got to bitch about today. And then they get really antsy if they haven't found that 12th one.
I can't
Hashtag
wrap,
loans.
I can't
you,
wrap my
Loans.
head
I love
around
you,
it.
Loans.
He doesn't listen. He told me he doesn't listen. He can't
Asshole.
stand podcasts. No, he just doesn't like them.
I'm proud of you guys. You guys gaining traction, like
I know,
listeners, and then like I really like the show. I dug the show. I was like, I listen. I'm one of them.
Nice.
I
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Spotify, man. Bring that stuff up on Spotify in the morning. Listen.
Yeah, like follow our Twitter and our Instagram.
Yeah, you got to mention all that shit. What
and
is it?
I will,
Facebook. You got a Facebook.
Yeah, and I will troll the shit out of you.
And Rearview Mirror, by the way, Rearview Mirror Tribute, all one word. Facebook.
You guys are getting ready to play the racetrack, right?
Yeah, Homestead Speedway. We're going to be playing the Checkered Flag concert series, both Saturday and Sunday, the 17th and 18th of this November, 2018. So we're going to be. That's pretty big.
Yeah, it is for
I
cover
understood
band,
some of those words.
So
It's just not my area.
every year there's a NASCAR weekend in Homestead. This year it happens like the 16th, 17th, and 18th, and we got called to play like a concert for people leaving the stadium that don't want to sit in traffic. So what they do is they leave the concessions open, they leave the food trucks open, they leave, the vendors are open after the race.
I don't know if you've ever been to the Speedway
No.
down in Homestead. Okay, so when you leave Speedway, there are 2 roads to go. There's only 2.
That does sound like Homestead.
So you can go west on Palm, or you can go north on Speedway, 137, I think. 137th Avenue. And those are the only 2 ways out, because they put the racetrack out in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's the only thing past it is Turkey Point. So there's nowhere else to go south. There's nowhere else to go east.
Unless you're staying in the Keys, and then you take US 1.
Well, and you still got to take Palm
Right.
to get there.
To get-
So, like, you figure how many tickets are they going to sell? You figure a couple thousand people are going to be there.
Yeah.
You're going to be jammed up in traffic like a motherfucker, because I think the first light out of there is on Campbell and 137th, and that's fuck.
So they leave the concessions open. They hire you guys. It kind of sounds like you're like the.
We try to keep. Okay, so we were told directly that we're getting hired to try to keep people there to alleviate traffic. So rather than go and get stuck in traffic and get all pissed off, stay here and drink, have something to eat, buy a T-shirt, and listen to grunge and alt rock and
So basically,
party.
you're the symphony on the Titanic saying, "Hey, don't look past here.
Right.
It sucks. Stay here.
Never
Keep
mind.
drinking."
Never mind the staff manning the lifeboats. We're here for your entertainment, and we'll play until
Till
we
the ship goes
frickin' go down. Krebs, you're such a fucking lens. I love it.
Okay, so I got to ask you. Do you think Oswald made the shot or no?
A little background on me. I
know this is why I asked. I want to hear about it.
okay. So I was the on a show called Bipartisan Disorder. I was the senior conspiracy correspondent.
And what that
I
means?
think I had that once. Bipartisan disorder. Yeah.
What that means is Craig was part of the Kennedy conspiracy group for his high school.
So he
Whatever the fuck.
so
Listen,
he-
in high school, I had no idea who Kennedy was. I had no.
So
fucking
he shot
clue.
Kennedy using a time machine.
it would have left a bigger hole, don't you think? Had I used an entire time machine to shoot Kennedy? Sorry, I was being really literal there for a moment.
Yeah.
Um,
So tell me the conspiracy.
So, all right. So
Sell me on it. because-
I'm Dr. Conspiracy. So your question
sell me
was.
on, sell me on it.
So
Because
ask
I'm
the question again.
Do you think he made the shot
Do I think Oswald made the shot? No, he was in the door of the school book depository.
with the candlestick?
Right. Yeah, in the dining room.
So you don't think he made the shot?
No.
It's less than 100 yards away.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's a Marine.
Altgens 6 is the name of the photograph.
Okay.
Altgens was a press photographer at the time, and I forget who he freelanced his photos to. But if you Google Altgens, Altgens 6, Altgens 6 shows the motorcade from the front at the time of the shot.
Okay.
Oswald is in the doorway of the school book depository. So in the early to
How do you
mid,
know that? Did they like tag him on Facebook or?
he's right there in the fucking photo. You can see him clear as day. At the time, they didn't sell V-necks for men. Like, they, you know how T-shirt styles are, like undershirt styles. So we all know that Oswald worked in the school book depository. He was either like a maintenance man or a janitor or whatever the fuck he did. And he had a button-down green shirt over top of a white undershirt. And he had a habit of pulling with his forefinger on the front of the neck of his shirt, where it would almost look like he was wearing a V-neck. Now, at the time, men didn't wear V-necks. Women wore V-necks, right? So men just wore regular, either the tank style T-shirts, undershirts,
Yeah.
or regular, high neck T-shirts.
Hashtag feminism.
Yeah, I don't know who started this conspiracy. I just know it's a gay man because not only did he know what he's wearing, but he noticed how he moved.
Well, this was the habit that he had. Well, I mean, you got to remember the 60s were a different period. You know, it wasn't the 70s yet.
That's why I don't trust them. They're still putting like mercury,
Remember,
like to fill your cavities.
John Ritter was still in 5th grade, you know? So, I mean, come on.
Oh, make me sad, why don't you, asshole?
Okay, well, you brought it up.
I didn't bring up John Ritter.
Well, no, but
I
he's-
don't go to dark places, at least not until I'm that drunk. I still miss John Ritter. I'm not over it. He was Zach Braff's dad on Scrubs and had an entire episode planned, but he died.
He was also the gay roommate on Three's Company, so who gives a fuck? I mean, it's
I do. Also, his wife is seriously hot.
he's dead.
So his wife was
The,
hot.
the fat.
At the time of his death, yes.
Listen, it's on Memorex, man. Just go back
She
and
was-
replay that
She was
shit.
the redhead from Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough.
Right.
Okay. So, fake V-neck.
Well, it wasn't fake. It was that he had a
fake,
habit.
Fake V-neck.
Fake.
Fake V-neck.
Altered V-neck.
Altered
So he
facts.
had a habit of pulling down on his shirt. So in this picture that Altgens had snapped, he had snapped a series of photos. This was the 6th photo in the series. And in this photo, you can clearly see the limo, the hole in the windshield, all the actors that were in the motorcade, including the Secret Service agent that jumps on the back of the limo. He was still perched on the car. Johnson had already taken cover. So if you know anything about the conspiracy, apparently before the shots were fired, Johnson took cover behind the back seat of the limo that he was in. He ducked down.
Yeah, but he was also like from Texas, so I assume he's always kind of like he knows what these people are like.
Well, he knew what the people were like because he knew he was in on it. Like, he knew what was going on. Like, why would you just take cover?
It's Texas.
So why didn't he take cover from the airport? He only took cover.
We don't have pictures of that. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Prove
we
it.
do
Prove-
have pictures of that.
Prove he didn't.
At any rate, so
You're not selling me, man.
hold on, I'm getting there. So the picture shows a man with all of the similar appearance, like facial features and build, where the nose is placed, everything about this man in the photograph says that's Oswald. And how can Oswald be on the ground floor in the doorway, leaning out, taking a look and seeing what's going on if he's up on the 6th floor shooting the president?
But we don't know it's him.
We have a pretty good idea
Because
that the
of how he
photograph.
pulled his shirt down.
Because of how he pulled his shirt down?
That's a really odd habit.
or-
Who do you know that does that?
Paul?
I only have 3 chest hairs, so I pulled this down just to scratch it.
Do your shirts sag because of the stretch in the collar?
It's not a thing I think about.
So he had a wardrobe full of shirts that the T-shirt came down on.
But so he was the only one?
Like I said, name me a guy that you know that does that. I know one guy that I grew up with that did that
How do we know he did that?
because his entire wardrobe was like that.
Do we know that?
Yes. Yeah, whenever
Are
you
you
go to
sure?
whenever you kill the president, I'm pretty sure they go through your fucking shit. Like they see what kind of socks you wear, and they're pretty up on that shit.
So the FBI has an entire like dossier about his shirts.
I think ever since a couple presidents ago, they've been recording almost every fucking phone conversation
That's
ever.
about them.
But
Ever,
they have a habit of doing that, so I'm pretty sure that that's fucking done. Yeah.
I'd really like to know that they were listening to us right now.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Hey,
Sure, some CIA,
CIA,
agent somewhere.
NSA.
Well,
Hey, guys.
give us a like and a comment.
Yeah. Rate us
He's
on
like
iTunes, you assholes.
rolling his fucking eyes like this, like, oh, fuck these
Hey,
guys.
you guys at the NSA, CIA, fucking comment on iTunes.
Now
you
there's
dickheads.
okay, so now there's some extreme guys out there, like what the hell's his name? Fat white old guy, Doctor.
You gotta narrow it down more
Shit,
than
I
that.
forget his name.
Fat old white doctor, huh?
But no, like conspiracy, JFK conspiracy, like to the nth degree nut. Like there were 14 shooters and there were 70 shots fired that day, and
70?
well, whatever.
Fuck?
Like I'm making it up, but like whatever. Like that's his.
How many shots
thing.
were fired that day?
Off the top of my head, there were at least 5.
At least 5? How many
There's-
on the official report?
3.
Why did they say 5?
Because there's the hole in the windshield
Okay.
that goes unaccounted for. So whenever they get to Parkland, they wipe down the limo, and then after they clean up, they put the limo on another 747. So so the president travels.
He's got 2 Air Force Ones. He's got the main and the backup.
No,
and-
he's the only one on Air Force One.
Well,
He's
they
the
have
only
the-
one on Air Force One.
yeah, well, yeah,
However,
right,
there
the
are
call sign,
several planes
Yeah.
that predicate him at the destination. And they arrive and they have the limos, the security patrol. These days, there's like an armored SUV with a frickin' Gatling gun attached to it and all that bullshit. So there's all that arrives before the president ever gets there. Whenever they finally got the limo or whatever the fuck it was called, that Cadillac on the frickin'
The Beast.
whenever they got the beast onto the plane, they flew it straight to Detroit and they dismantled it and rebuilt it. They threw away all the evidence. As a matter of fact, whenever they got the Parkland Hospital, the first thing, now these are all guys that are trained. You've been through military training. You know what you need to do, when you need to do it, how you execute it. These guys are all trained in law enforcement.
But I will say this though, in a chaos situation, things happen, man. You do dumb shit.
Happens. Yeah, I get it. But
And you know what happens? You wind up having the E5 or the E6 that doesn't know what's going on in charge, and he's like,
but whenever you're
"Fucking
coming,
do this. We need to fix this so this is up and running."
no,
Go.
but whenever you're on president, listen, that shit may fly whenever KP ain't done. Listen, these pots and pans ain't fucking done.
I love KP because you got to eat all you wanted.
Right, like all the leftovers, right? Every single tray, however much you wanted.
It was really
not
awesome.
not in the Air Force.
Well, most of it was empty, right?
The Air Force? Oh, we had an abundance because we get all the funding.
You don't know how the funding for the Air Force works?
You get first divs, and
No. The
everybody
way
else
they do
gets-
it, so like when the Air Force builds a new base, they get they'll get a $10 million budget, right? And then they'll go and they'll build a $9 million golf course, and then they go back to Congress and say, "Hey, we can't finish building the base," and then they give them another $10 million.
Hashtag Tampa McDill.
Yeah, that's
It's
how it works.
mostly golf course.
Yeah, that's
And
how it works.
That's where I spent 7 years.
Well, what you have here is you have some of the most highly trained, elite personnel on the planet, guarding the most influential and important man on the planet.
I don't know
I
if
mean-
I buy that.
George Soros.
George Soros is there? Are the Koch brothers there?
Right? It should be. But the point being, even in the 60s, you gotta figure that some of the most elite guys who know what the fuck they're doing are driving around the president, know how to guard him, know what to do in case of an emergency.
They have no internet and no cell phones to immediately communicate.
And you mean to tell me as soon as they got to the hospital, they took a bucket with a sponge and soapy water and washed the crime scene off?
They're not investigators.
Yes, because they've been through basic, and cleaning is the first fucking
First
thing
thing
you
you always do. Yeah, you clean the fuck out of everything. That's
right?
what you do. That's
yeah,
what you-
except whenever you fucking have a murder scene on wheels.
Well, you don't know that. They're not
the-
investigators.
yeah,
they're
the
not
crimes-
they're not detectives.
But they are law enforcement.
They're barely.
No, they are.
I
Yeah, you can't argue that.
I
These
would
guys
not-
are protecting the president.
Yeah, they're protecting the president. They're not investigating his death.
Not yet. But they're still protecting him. But
They're
that's
protecting
not.
him, but they're not investigating his death. I mean that's.
There's a lot of questions that go on, and we can all admit that even if you just say, "All right, Oswald's the guy," let's just, for argument's sake,
Oswald's the guy. It was
Oswald's the guy.
Less than 100 yards
perfect
on a
Great.
predictably moving target. Like,
Great.
It was going in a certain path. It was not going to deviate
Clear
from.
day.
He only
Clear wind.
he only shot
Beautiful.
3 bullets.
That's all you need.
Right, one hit the concrete way down by the overpass, which the ricochet or a concrete fragment hit James Tegg in the cheek. Okay, so it wasn't, maybe it was 1, maybe it was 2, maybe it was 3. Whatever shot it was, one of those hit all the way over there. So how good was Oswald if he hit all the way over here and his target was here? So that's just number 1.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, bro.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, but
First
one
one-
was 150 yards off.
First one just to sight in.
So let's see. So let's just say. So he gets one in the back of the head, right, and it gets him in the neck, and it blows his neck out. But that bullet also goes around and smacks Connolly around, right?
Yeah.
And let's just say that Arlen Specter is the greatest predictive historian of all time, that he is the best forensic analyst ever to walk the face of the earth. Some random ass senator from the state of Pennsylvania says, no, this bullet through time suspended itself in midair. Then it decided to change direction 3 times and smacked Connolly around 17 different times and ended up pristine condition on a stretcher, which is what they wrote in the fucking book.
That actually I've heard about. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I've heard
wrote
about
it,
that, actually,
and
yeah.
it's in the freaking. What's the judge's name that it's named after? The freaking study,
We're not gonna know, but you might.
Yeah.
the Warren Commission, the Warren Report.
Okay. Yeah.
So in the Warren Report, it says it. We found the bullet. This is it. This, like they asked all the forensics. They talked to all the doctors. They said all the physicists, is that the bullet? And they all were like, yep, that's it. So here you got a bullet that passed through 2 bodies and ended up in a thigh after passing through a wrist. So it went through Kennedy, went through Connolly's wrist, and ended up in his thigh, and it came out looking like freaking uncooked bacon, like freaking nice lines and everything.
So why do you? Okay, so it was a conspiracy to kill Kennedy.
Sure.
We'll just go with that. Why do they want Kennedy dead? Why kill him?
Money. Too many people stood to lose too much money if there wasn't a perpetual war.
So you at least acknowledge that there are some conspiracy theorists out there that even you can't even buy into.
Listen, okay,
You're
so
talking about like the 70 bullets or whatever.
right. So I'm the kind of guy that's at the station, and I'm like, I'm way down the platform to most people. Like, as far as conspiracies go, like, you know, what was Hillary involved with, and you know, all the shit that she's done and Clinton has done, and the number of dead people that have, air quotes, committed suicide around her.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
there are literally, I think the number is 90. There's like a infographic. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. There's an infographic online that shows the number of people that the Clintons know that have,
Committed suicide.
air
yeah.
quotes, committed suicide, or as they say, Clinton side.
Have you met her? I wanted to kill myself after.
Yeah, well, listen, if I have a friend that shits herself and loses shoes and gets thrown into a van like a side of beef, I digress. So getting back to Kennedy and all this sort of stuff, and what conspiracies I buy into. Listen, whenever it boils down to people standing to lose, I backtrack. People in power, when they stand to lose a lot of money, are willing to do anything to keep it. And does that include killing a guy? Yeah. Does it matter what his title is? No. So, like, would people be, and this is my thing, like, are people willing to kill Trump? I see that on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram.
He's fine.
Every
He's
day.
fine.
I understand he's fine.
Liberals can't
but
shoot.
Right, because they
They're
don't want
anti-guns.
guns.
Yeah.
How can you be anti-gun and like in the 10 ring? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Hold on.
You're a bad shot.
Hold on. But the reason that I'm asking you, so you at least acknowledge that some people are way out there crazy. Okay, so do me a favor. Ask yourself, what do you need to see? What evidence do you need to see for you to think, oh my God, I'm the crazy guy? Because then I want to have you back on and so you can apologize.
Okay, well, I mean, so I had brought this up earlier, and I forget the name of the term, but they're like, okay, so like Occam's razor
Yeah.
is the term
Simplest, yeah.
that you use for the simplest explanation.
It's
There's
most-
also a term for whenever money is at play. And I forget the name of the phrase. I forget that. There's like something that says like if money, like whoever's.
Sounds like we're getting into like game theory here.
Well, I mean, there's an actual name for this, and I forget what it is. Like if there's money involved, like always go to the money. Like whether it's in business. So like why did GE lay off 300 people today? Some executive was going to lose money. You know, like it boils down to money. Like
The principle of parsimony? Paris money? I don't fucking know what that means.
I'll bet
parsimony,
Parsimony.
I'll-
Yeah, there it is.
I'll bet you a nerd named that.
Probably.
something like
Fucking
that. But whatever.
nerd.
I just call it the Occam's razor of money. But but whenever you boil it down, like people who are in power and stand to lose money will do anything to keep as much money as possible and their power. So unscrupulous people, what are they willing to do to keep that? And it gets scary if you start looking, and I mean, we can all sit here and be sarcastic and funny and like talk about like, you know,
I'd
hey,
put-
it was the chocolate cake that shot Kennedy, you know, like, but if you really pull back the wool and you really want to know and you really start examining and asking questions, it's like, holy fuck, how deep does this go?
But I want to know how good is that chocolate cake? 'Cause I
Yeah,
think
that sounds pretty amazing right now.
Seasoned with the death of a president.
Is it
Chocolate
German
cake.
chocolate cake or
It's ganache.
I mean
Or is it that weird? Has anyone here? And I don't know how you make it, but there's a chocolate cake shot that when you take these several ingredients that have nothing to do with chocolate or cake, but when you take them all at once,
yeah, they taste like chocolate cake.
does it
Yeah.
mean
It's got to be like EXO and Bailey's and
I have no,
no,
idea.
it's like it's got nothing to.
No, I've had it before. It tastes
Because you
like
like,
chocolate
I
cake.
think you bite into a lime afterwards, and the acid somehow just like fools your taste buds. So I wasn't just that fucked up drunk.
Google
Like, is it
Google
actually a
the
thing?
chocolate cake shot. This is an easy fix. Fuck
Yay,
this.
Google.
Google the or DuckDuckGo, depending on your political leanings.
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo.
What?
I am just hearing about this now. What the
is
fuck
that?
is Duck
Yeah.
Duck Duck?
Okay,
ahead.
so everybody has Alexa and the Google thing and the Ask Siri and all this bullshit. Well, there's a search engine out there that doesn't collect and sell your data. It's called DuckDuckGo.
I already don't believe them.
Yeah. How do they make money?
Because yeah,
Ads. So like the top 3
So
searches,
the top 3 search results on everything is a sponsored thing.
and it says it. It says ad.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
not
so
fun.
does Google. Really, really tiny.
Yeah, at the very bottom on the right hand side, itsy bitsy writing in braille.
And the graphics are always so much nicer.
Half ounce of hazelnut flavored liqueur, half ounce of vanilla vodka, and 1 piece of lemon.
Yeah.
Sugar. Frost the rim of old fashioned glass, sugar and lemon. Add the vanilla vodka, hazelnut liqueur, stir together, lick the sugar rim, shoot the mixture, and bite a piece of lemon.
I would have also bought Witchcraft.
Yeah.
Because I've had this shit. And I'm like, am I really this fucked up? Or was I just like talking to this?
Krebs is like, what is this sorcery? What is this?
Give me more chocolate cake. But that makes sense though. Like you figure hazelnut. I mean, if you like Nutella or whatever,
But I think it has more to do with like tricking your taste buds. Like somehow someone, I assume not sober, just stumbled upon this and they just wrote it down.
I think it's probably more. You guys were joking about like nerds and scientists and stuff earlier. I think it's more that route because. So here's something for you. Why do we have salt and pepper? Why is that on our table? Why isn't it like dried parsley and crushed mint? Why do we have salt and pepper?
I can imagine salt is because they used to use it to preserve food, and it was highly valuable. And
The Romans used
So
fucking
why would you use that as a table condiment
it's
if it was
fucking
so
amazing, that's
because
why.
it was so valuable?
Electrolytes.
Yeah,
No.
it's fucking amazing.
So salt blocks the tongue from receiving bitter signal. So the signals that are conducted electrically on your tongue. So you figure
They're called action potentials.
you have
It's the biochemical electrical signals that go
You've
through your
sucked
body.
a dick, haven't you?
not that I can recall.
Why would you store that knowledge unless you've got something shameful?
What's this have to do with fucking salt? I don't know.
I don't know. I've heard semen is bitter.
So you figure you have saliva is an acidic solution. In that solution, you process chemicals that are coming from food, and you have bitter receptacles on your tongue. If you have bitter receptacles on your tongue and it makes food taste bad, there's got to be some type of chemical reaction that counteracts it. And the thing that counteracts it is salt. So the calcium chloride sodium chloride that you take in with salt blocks the bitter vis-a-vis chemistry, that it blocks the bitter taste. So it makes food taste better by not tasting bitter. So that's number one. Pepper, on the other hand, since your olfactory plays like what, a 75% role in tasting?
Taste, yeah.
So your olfactory is like a 75% factor in how you perceive taste. Pepper opens up your sinuses. So what happens whenever you grind pepper and you're cooking something and you breathe it in, you sneeze, right? Because that pepper is instantly opening up and irritating your sinuses.
And you're bringing circulation, and you're bringing like
Right. So the
overload, yeah.
thing is you're bringing more air to your sinuses because they want to open. They want to open up. Whenever you have something spicy, like they say, like if you have sinus problems, take a teaspoon of hot sauce every morning. And that opens up your sinuses and it drains all the mucus and all this sort of stuff. And literally opening up your ability to smell better. So pepper opens up your sinuses. Salt opens up your tongue to better flavors. So that's why we have salt and pepper on the
And
table.
apparently Craig is pro nerd. That was your point, right?
Yeah, right? Like I beat off to Star Wars Trek or whatever movie that is, right?
Bless you.
Whatever movie's trending.
I am also pro nerd, but I'm going to keep giving him shit because it makes him better.
Listen, if you want to eat shit, that's fine. That's a Cuban thing, right?
No, give them shit.
Oh, give them shit. I thought you said to eat them shit.
No. I give nerds shit. Like, I can't prove that I didn't go back in time and, like, wedgie Mark Zuckerberg, but I like to think I did. And it made him a better man.
Who was the guy that did Napster? What was his name?
Oh, fuck. God damn it. I just know that... Oh, God damn it.
You wedgied him.
See,
that was the guy.
all I can think about now when you say Napster is
Lars Ulrich. And that cartoon?
no, the
Yes,
movie.
I've seen that. I remember that. Oh, that was fucking old as
Fist bump,
shit.
fist bump.
I can't afford my, what was like, underage Mexican
beer good, napster bad.
Yes. I think was that done by Joe Cartoon? Because the animation was very similar. Oh, it was very similar.
Be the ball. Be the ball. Frog in a blender. The bat.
The frog in a blender was my favorite.
Hamster in the microwave.
You don't have the balls.
No balls.
No
Suck
balls.
me. Bite me. Bite me. No balls. Bite me.
I'm gonna
It was
get-
a gerbil in a microwave too, right? Like you hit the power level and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get approximately 3 texts in the next couple days. Like, oh my god, fucking Joe Cartoon.
Joe Cartoon was fucking awesome, man.
Because I got 3 when we casually mentioned Ghetto 8. Because that's what we call it.
Wait. Do you remember the urinal test?
Oh, it sounds familiar.
No.
So there were 10 urinals lined up, and it was like they put a guy here, and it's like, which urinal do you choose? So if it was a flash thing, like whenever like the internet was first getting going, and it was like Joe Cartoon and all sorts of bullshit. It was like the urinal test. So if you're a real guy, you would know the answers to if there's a man in urinal 10.
You go to urinal 1.
You go to urinal 1. Why? Because he's furthest away, right? So that was like the right answer. But then it got more complex as you went through the test, and there were a series of questions. Okay, so there's a man in 2 and a man in 6. Like, which urinal do you pick? So depending on
I
like,
got like 9 out of 10 of this test once. Like,
I mean, it was like a thing. It was like an internet thing, and you
Sounds
took
familiar.
yeah. So you took the test, and you took the urinal test, and that was it,
That was old.
right?
See, back then,
is
my
Joe
favorite-
Cartoon still like a thing?
I don't know. I just see back
I think
then,
it's still a website.
I'm gonna look it up after we're done here because like, if they got new content, I would love to see it. I doubt I'll still resonate with me or.
Frog in a blender,
Yeah.
gerbil in a microwave, the guy hitting himself in the head with a bat.
Oh yeah. But did you ever see the Internet is for Porn with the Muppets?
Nope.
That was one of those old things too. It was
No.
there was somebody made
But
this
I'm
whole video.
intrigued.
It was like it looked like Sesame Street. Like they had a bunch of Muppets and they had this whole song. It was like the internet is for porn. The internet is for porn.
Nope. Don't remember that one.
No.
You're out there by yourself, brother.
That's right.
Or maybe you should mention these things more.
Yeah. It's old, man.
You know what we should do? We should start a podcast and talk about this shit.
We should. That'd be
Right?
a good fucking idea, man.
Wow, you guys are on to
Because
something.
it makes us happy.
Do something like that.
Like, I just met Craig today, and I just realized we all liked and remembered Joe Cartoon. Unplanned.
Fucking awesome. I'll bring over some beer. You guys fucking hit record, and we'll do this shit.
Sweet.
I got microphones. We could do this.
And you're a pretty good guitar player too, so
I'm all right.
yeah, right. But your new passion is drums.
His new killing time because
I wouldn't-
he can't not be productive. He has to do something.
I can't. I don't want to say passion because I'm not good at it.
You're passionate about trying.
I'm passionate about music, and
This is true.
It has definitely helped my guitar playing now because I count.
That was always something you said to me. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm a guitar player. I don't fucking count.
Yeah, I remember that in some of our bands. I was like, you're like, no, because in the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, I'm like, look, man, I play guitar. I don't count. I don't fucking need to.
But can you explain to me why Calero is awesome? Because Poof
Okay, so
did drums, and he can't even exactly tell me why Calero is awesome.
I can tell you why Calero is awesome because Calero can count,
That's it.
and he has extreme limb independence. So he can. Okay. So
Are you about to like go into like a masturbating joke where like you walked in and I'm jerking off?
No. Okay, so limb independence is a thing for drummers. So like,
Okay.
they call it limb independence because you have your hands and your feet going, and you have them going at different times, right? So and it's just to do 4 on the floor is very simple. But then when you start adding like double bass pedal, like Calero does on a regular basis, he doesn't just do a driving like the whole song. It's like and he can even do things where like he'll be playing 2 different time signatures. So up top he's playing in 4/4 and on
3
the bottom
or
he's
7 or whatever.
Yeah, he's playing on 3/4. So he's playing 2 different time signatures at the same time, and he's able to count all of that. So not only is he keeping count of the song, he's keeping count of each hand, each foot, and the overall time for the song. Like it's
So Calero's not a human being. He's like 18 collective squirrels, all like on point, but yet doing their own thing.
yes.
I've suspected this for years.
And that all comes together, and it's called
Squirrel theory.
Yeah, it's called syncope. So he's able to bring that all together and make it sound like one thing.
My head hurts.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's just thinking about it.
yeah. Now, that's why I say I'm not passionate about drums, because I can do 4 on the floor. I can do a couple simple fills.
Can you do? You
I-
can do 3/4.
I could play along with some AC/DC. I could play along with some Weezer. Like,
So I'm going to show you
anything-
3/4.
anything past that, I am just like, it is over my head right now, and I'm getting better. I'm getting there.
3/4. Ready? So, one hand is going to do 4, and the other hand is going to do 3. But then there's a mnemonic aid, and it's super simple. So that is the beats not lining up, right? So you
Yeah.
have 2 that come down on 1, and then you have like a 2, but then the other 2 is alternate, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So
Yeah.
you get eat your goddamn spinach. Eat your goddamn spinach. Eat your goddamn spinach. Eat your
Okay.
goddamn spinach. And so you get 1.
Yeah. Okay. I could do that with my hands, but now if I have to do that between my hands and my feet,
That's
that
how
live
you develop it,
independence-
though. You get
That,
mnemonic
like-
aids to remember what the muscle memory is. And then once you have muscle memory, then you start moving that around the kit.
Yeah.
And there are guys out there that are like way beyond that, but that is basic. That is like channel 1. That's where you start.
But things like that are why Calero is amazing at drums. That, and he also, he worked at was it Sam Ash or something like that in the drum section for like
So he
3
would
or
just
4
sit there and
3 or 4
play.
like 3 or 4 years straight, and all he did was sit and play for his whole shift or
Hours.
whatever. Yeah, so he hours and hours and hours and hours.
As a
and
former
hours,
Guitar Center employee, I can sympathize with that.
yeah, hours and hours and hours of him playing. So I mean, yeah, he's got plenty of practice time under his belt too. So yeah, he's a phenomenal drummer, fucking phenomenal. He had a band. They put out an album. It was called My Amends. Great fucking album. Great band. They split ways, and then he wound up moving to outside of Seattle. And I think he's still.
Is he still playing?
Yeah, he actually was the one that wrote and recorded our intro music.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
All right.
he's-
Yeah,
yeah.
and I appreciate that because
Yeah.
I have an air check.
Yeah, and I'm actually a little jealous because he's now started to pick up guitars and basses, and he's not bad at all.
One of these days, I'll find. I think it's on Google Drive. I'll my air check, and I'll play it for you. One of these days.
Yeah, he's bitching about. I've sent him pictures of my kit, and he's like, "You need to move this and move this. Quit fucking around. What are you doing?" I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I see some
really-
things that
I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm making this up as I go.
I think you're better off that way. Don't listen to anybody. Like if I were to come in here one day, I'd be like allergic to your kit. I'd break out in a rash. I'd be like, "What the fuck is this noise?" But like, in all honesty, like, don't let anybody else influence you. Like, don't look at anything else. Don't listen to anything else. Just come in here and fucking play. And where you put things are where it's going to be natural for you. So whether that means your cymbals are up here or they're down here, or whether your ride is over here or over there, that's all on you now. So as a budding drummer, as somebody coming up into the craft, you're not going to be influenced by preconceptions. Like, like this is
I'm
how
also-
it has to be.
I'm also like I'm still super malleable to it. So like, if
Right.
like if this is wrong or that's wrong, I wouldn't know the fucking difference anyway. You
Well,
know, like, I
yeah,
could-
at this
and I
point,
could
you're like,
change it.
what's wrong? You
Yeah.
know, like there is no wrong. It's just like, this is where it is and this is how I like it.
Yeah, and like I can look back at when I started playing guitar and some of the things I did. I'm like, God, I was a fucking asshole. Why did I do that? And I'm sure if I continue with the drums in a couple of years, I'll look back and go, I was a fucking asshole. Why did I do that?
Well, I mean, if you have questions, I mean, I've only been playing for 20 plus years, but I mean, not that I would tell you you're playing this song wrong or this part wrong, but I can tell you what not to do. Like I did this for 10 years, and this is why I was stupid. You know, like
Yeah.
do this, and you'll be fine.
No, I'm digging playing the drums. It's fun, man. It's definitely a release. Especially like, so I found this track on YouTube, and it's a bunch of jazz and like blues tunes, and there's no drum tracks on it. So I'll just throw that on, throw it in the headphones.
Yeah, drumless tracks. Yeah.
And I'll just play along with it. And every once in a while, I'll hit that little pocket, and it's
Feels
just,
good, right?
Oh, it's just butter. Fuck, it feels so good. And
It's different than playing the melodies and
Yeah.
the notes and stuff. It's different. It's because you can sort of lose yourself.
yeah,
Like whenever you get into a groove, you don't have to think about it.
yeah,
Like you don't have to watch where your fingers are going. You can just sit back and play and appreciate the things that are going on around you.
yeah. It is.
That's why there's an allure, man.
It's smooth and it's calming, and it's like, you hit that, and it's just like, all right, I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm done.
And then somebody says, "All right, let's play something in 7." It's all over. That's
Yeah.
it. Fucking
There's been many times on the weekends I'll be in here playing, or trying to keep up with a beat or something, and I can't do it, and I sit there and I'm like, fuck, throwing sticks at the fucking window and shit. Get up and I walk out. My wife's like, there wasn't as many fucks today. You're getting better.
yeah. It's like only 12 fucks compared to like 30 yesterday.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is a frustrating little machine.
It is. That's exactly what it is. It's the fucking machine.
It is.
It is a machine, and I'm just learning to operate it. That's what it is.
At the very basics.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, how deep can you take that machine?
I don't know. I'm a fucking guitarist, man.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, I play guitar, man. I don't know.
But that ain't too bad.
But it's definitely helped me appreciate music in a much better way now. Like, I think I told you before, like, I'm listening to songs in a whole new way now, because now instead of just listening to the melodies, I'm actually paying attention to the counts. I'm paying attention to the beats. I'm paying attention to what the drums are doing on the backside of the track. Like, oh, okay. Like,
That's why.
yeah, that's why. Okay, I get it now. Oh, man, I should have started counting earlier. Fuck, I should have started counting.
I feel like I'm gonna get that payout like several years down the road. I probably told you something, and you're gonna come back like 8 years later and be like, "Oh, that's why you said that." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I told you that." Was it why I said that? No. I just spew bullshit and I see what plants.
I think Krebs is like the Jello gelatin of like the flavors that are around him. You know what I mean? Like he's the actual thing that sets. And
But I need those.
well, yeah. Otherwise, you'd just be animal fat or whatever. But like you need the flavors around you, but you set those.
I have proven this theory. I lived for 4 years in Indiana. And I was like, wow, I need like a friend, because I just said a dick thing, and I need a friend to like come up, like a decent friend to like stand next to me, so I look less dickish when I just said the thing, because I'm not getting laid tonight, like because I don't go out to get laid, I go out to just make
Be.
something happen,
like just to be.
and there's so many times where I'm like, I could get laid, or I could say the thing.
And you say it.
Oh, I totally every time.
But that's all right.
Because
though.
I can jerk off and go to bed. It's actually easier.
And
to
it
clean up.
saves you money and a headache and
Yeah.
everything else.
I once met a guy, he swore up and down. He was like, I prefer to masturbate and go to bed. And I was like, dude, you don't want to get laid? Pussy's always better. He's like, nah, man, nobody knows me like me. and the more, the longer he said that to me, and the more I thought about it, like, it's kind of right.
Yeah,
He's
there's
got a really good point there.
you do you.
Yeah.
Because at some point when you get older, efficiency comes into your, I don't know, periphery, and it becomes really important. And I can just jerk off into this sock and go to bed. I don't have to like get you cab fare in the morning. I know what pussies feel like. I've had quite a few. Like I gotta work tomorrow. Like
That ranks high on the priority list, right? It's like,
And
I gotta go to work, man.
I'm not wondering, are you on the pill? Like it clears out a lot, but you do have to sleep around a lot to get to that point. You gotta earn it.
It's like a farmer.
You can't be 19-year-old saying, "Well, I go I go home alone because that's what I choose to do. No, you're 19 and just can't get laid.
Yeah. That's exactly what that is.
Hashtag loans. We can do this because he doesn't listen, and
Yeah.
it's not even true.
I
He's
was gonna say that's the guy. Like, all right, so loans is like, by standard definition, a sexual deviant. Like,
yeah,
it. Fucking
and
guy,
we love
bro.
loans. We
I love
absolutely
that guy.
it.
Yo, so he's been like perpetually single for I don't know ever, and so like he's got all kinds of stories about like he's been picked up at bars by like married couples and shit, and like
He fucking hooked up with an SJW liberal female, and he was like, I really could have handled that better. I'm like, well, did you get laid? He goes, yeah, but afterwards she patted my dick and said good boy and then walked out. I'm like, but did you have sex? He's like, yeah. I'm like, what are you bitching about?
The end game. Is it a win column thing? Yeah. Dunsky.
Yeah.
Jill in a quote, don't care, had sex.
Jason Brown quote. I've done worse.
Oh yeah, he has.
Oh yeah, you never heard that? Jason Brown.
I don't think I've heard him say that particularly.
Oh yeah, a couple times.
I've done worse.
I've done worse.
I've kept him from. I've actually cock blocked him from worse. What was it?
When Jason Brown, used to be when Jason before he got married or whatever. Like when he got too drunk, he was like, meh, and he poured in a storm.
That's Jason. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Jason.
Yeah, especially when he's in drunk mode. Oh man, it was quite entertaining. There was actually a birthday of his where he wound up. He went on drinking all night, and he actually went missing, and we didn't know where the fuck he was. And like we were at the house, and he was just gone. And we were like, "What the fuck?"
Have you seen him? No. Have you? No.
Nobody's seen him. And then the next morning or the next day at like noon, he shows up and he's like, "Yeah, I woke up drunk in a trailer park." And we're like, "How'd you get there?" "I don't know."
Not
Like,
important.
were you in a trailer or like were you in somebody's house or like? He's like, "No, I was just in the grass." I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Yeah,
Wow.
I actually cock blocked him early on when we first met. I think we were at like Hole in the Bar,
Hole in the wall.
Hole in the Wall, or one of those places like that doesn't exist anymore, but in the same general area.
Gotcha.
And he brought this girl up who, he was trying to like play me up a bit. And he was also trying to get laid. And when the girl walks up, she's got one eye like deep set in more than the other. So like one eye is clearly like 2 inches, behind the other eye. And Jason
Asymmetric face to the nth degree.
like I'm drunk and I'm just wincing like uncontrollably. And Jason brings her up and he's like, "Yeah, it's my buddy Krebs. He's funny. Krebs, be funny." And I was like, "Well, I am funny, but I don't sing and I don't dance. I'm not your fucking monkey." She storms off, and Jason goes, "Why wouldn't you be funny?" I'm like, "Were you listening to me? That's hysterical. Also, you're welcome tomorrow morning."
Oh man. What baseball bat tree did she fall through?
she fell out of the ugly tree
A
and hit every
factory.
branch on the way
A
down.
factory.
Or something. Louisville Slugger.
You got to ask him about being the Dragon Slayer. He was hanging out with his family, actually at Eric Brown's wedding, and he hooked up with some chick.
The first one.
Yeah, he hooked up with some chick, and
The second one's on the horizon.
yeah. Anyway, so he hooks up with this chick, and apparently she was just a wildebeest, right? And it was so funny because he shows up the next day or whatever, and everybody's like, "What's up, Dragon Slayer?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, you're like Mario. You know, you gotta slay a few dragons to get to the princess." So that was a running joke for a while. It was a good time.
Terrible.
See, I haven't slayed that many dragons, and not because I'm particularly, I don't know, really picky about it. It's because I want to point out, "Oh my God, you're ugly. Do you know you're ugly?" And then they usually leave.
No, I slayed my first share of dragons.
I read on the internet somewhere that somebody, I forget where this was at. Somebody was sharing a story, and they had said something to the effect of like, "My God, you're the ugliest one I've ever seen," and they were like, "Oh my God, and you're honest too," like that kind of thing was going on. So it's like,
Nice.
holy crap! You can't even whack them away with a chainsaw. It's like
Oh yeah, blunt honesty. I don't know why it's got me laid, and I choose to not look at it because it might stop happening. Or just being a dick to a girl. There was I remember you came to my Starbucks that I was working at, and the shift supervisor like I just said a dick thing and she laughed and you're like you're gonna hit that. I'm like
I remember that. Yeah.
and I was like she had a boyfriend and like okay
No,
a year later I hit that.
I forget exactly what he said, but like the way she looked at him and then walked away, and I was like, I usually I'm
You could
oblivious.
have that.
Usually I'm oblivious, but I just looked at him. I was like,
My wife
Yeah.
says the same thing. Like,
was like,
you
you
have
know-
no idea what's going on.
I was
right?
like, well, I guess when I'm watching someone else do it, I catch it. But when it's
Right.
on me, I'm like completely fucking oblivious, right over my damn
right over
head.
the head.
Yeah, but I just remember the way she looked at him and then walked away, and I was like, she wants you, Krebs. Like you're gonna hit that, and he's like,
Nah.
yeah, he gave me a list of reasons why not, and I was like,
Yeah.
you're fucking gay. Like, no, she wants it.
And like how I hit it was actually like unintentional. It's just something I just noticed that just being a dick to certain people, it sort of like charges them like a battery. Like you've got all these negative emotions, but they're still thinking about you.
There's
they're-
like subreddits dedicated to that.
like you're on their mind, and then all you have to do is just one night say, "Hey, I'm a dick to you because I just kind of like you," and suddenly all that negative emotion you fucking put a positive on it, and now she wants your dick. I'm like, well, that was easy. Like, be a dick, and then for one moment not be a dick. I can do that.
Even if I have to force it, damn it, I'll be nice for just a moment.
Yeah.
Krebs can be nice.
All you actually have to do is ask. It's not hard. Nobody thinks to ask.
He's been nice to me.
See, Krebs can be nice.
Yeah,
He's being natural.
I'm all right with that. He's got nicer hair than me. Well, longer hair anyway.
I asked him to be nice to. It's funny, like
Your
when
wife's friend,
Yeah,
yeah.
my wife's friend.
I was
like-
about to say this. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first met my wife, she's got this friend who is, yeah, whatever. She's
Input whatever visual you want, and just say no. That's why it's a no. Yeah.
yeah, she's not.
She's a nice person though.
She's a very nice person, but she's definitely got some self-esteem issues. She's yeah, whatever. She's a big girl. She's
She's
like-
yes to what Craig's doing. Yes.
yeah. I wish we had video. Anyway, she's
She's at least 3 me.
she's like 8 feet tall. She's big, so she's got self-esteem issues, whatever, and very sensitive, very very sensitive. Like, just even like outside of her looks, even the worst part is that like her mentality is that she's still in high school and she's 30-something years old, and so when I first met when I first met my wife, we're going to hang out with her, and Krebs is coming with us, and I remember I grabbed Krebs and I was like, hey, I know our thing is to usually like make fun of people, and you know,
Please don't.
yeah,
Not on
I was-
this one.
I was like,
I
not
think
on
it-
this one,
I
bro.
think we
Like,
said, yeah.
I was like, because
I really like this one, and she likes that one, so be nice.
I think it was more like, I know you're gonna smell blood in the water, and it's gonna be really hard. Just this is really low hanging fruit, man. Just let it go. And he did. He was yeah. No,
I actually
he still does.
I actually we just saw her. I don't know. Yeah, let's not get too specific.
Yeah.
No, but like I actually kept it up because you left with your wife or future wife to go get laid, and I was stuck with just her. I'm like, all right, well, Matt asked me to, so
Hi.
I've got to keep this up. But no, like the conversation was fine because she's into singing, and I think
Yeah.
we were at like somewhere that was like doing karaoke, but then they were also, I think they were like a place that you would come to on a certain day if you wanted to be like on American Idol or something.
Oh,
So
yeah,
she was
yeah.
kind of scoping it out. I'm like, well, we've got shit to talk about. I mean, I wouldn't fuck you with a gun in my head, but I like talking to you actually.
Rough.
It's crazy, you know. We've been out before with just me, my wife, and her, and I've seen guys come up to her and like, hey, what's up, like, and she's turned them all down. Yeah, turned them all down.
Chewy is not inaccurate.
Oh my God.
Which is funny though, because she.
If I were a king of the forest.
Yes. But that persona though is like deadly accurate.
And there is
That was always my tie. Whenever like I've had a run in, it was always like Cowardly Lion. Was it Bert Lahr? Bam! Like that's it. That's your Bert Lahr. You look like Bert Lahr. Sorry.
You got a little bit like his face is kind of. Your face is kind of similar. I'm just
With who?
Burt Lahr.
My face.
A little bit,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought we were talking about the friend.
No, I would never be that cruel on purpose.
Yeah.
You were asked to
I might,
subdue.
I might luck into it, but I wouldn't do it on purpose. No, but like you've got like I don't know, like if we put like the makeup on you and a mane,
I was always told
I
looked
would
like
I would go trick or treating
Guy
tomorrow.
Fieri. I don't know.
Guy
That's-
Fury.
Yeah.
Really, he looks like an AIDS patient on a good day.
Yeah.
Like he's just really thin and emaciated. He might be totally healthy. He just has never looked. I don't know.
Well, he's got that like blonde
and he was
tip thing.
yeah,
and
the like.
earrings.
I never
or
understood the
rings.
whole like blonde tips thing. Like I don't get it.
Not after. You're not allowed to do that like after 92. Like
Yeah.
once you hit 92, 94, that's got
Well,
to stop.
especially like old guys doing that shit. Like, dude, you're a
There's
fucking
some.
adult.
I've
Fucking
seen some.
stop.
Right?
Stop. Fucking stop it. You're a fucking adult.
What issue of Cosmo did you stumble upon and think this is a good idea?
Yeah,
Like,
right. Like, you know what I see? Every time I see that, it does not matter what's going on. That dude, I'm automatically assuming he's trying to bang younger chicks, and they're just making fun of him and getting drinks off him. Like,
And I guarantee you, his voicemail is like an Offspring song that he like held close to the mic. I guarantee it.
oh yeah,
You got to keep them separated.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's one dude that used to come through the bar when I was working there. Fuck, I forget his name, but he was a drummer in one of the bands. But dude was like almost 40 years old, and he had these frosted tips and spiked hair.
I know who you're talking about.
Like, bro, calm down.
Played for a certain band.
I forget what band he played for. I don't even.
I know who
remember.
he played for.
You can say their name. It's cool.
Stocking Mildred.
Oh yeah. There it is. But that guy was like, every time I saw him, I was like, bro, you're such a fucking nerd. Like you, God, you're.
And he wasn't that
fucking
good of a
nerd.
drummer either. Like he
No.
was like
I think the frosted tips held him back.
from a, maybe like the ammonia.
I don't know.
It absorbed into his cranium and like took out IQ.
Yeah,
As a non-drummer, I cannot dispute that claim.
Who knows?
but it's like,
Could be the ceiling tiles. I don't know at this point.
it's like, bro, you're like fucking, you're almost 40 years old. What the fuck are you doing? The fuck is that? Leave that shit for the young kids, like the 18, 19-year-olds.
And even then, they weren't tipping their
Yeah.
hair.
Because Lones did that shit when he was like 14 or 15. I think he had spiked hair with fucking frosted tips and shit.
Oh, I've seen that. He
also had one contact that was blue. And like the like it was mostly white with like a blue ring around it. Like
Who we talking about now?
one of our buddies. He was
Oh,
he was
all
on
right.
he was on the show. He was number 3, Lones.
Yeah, he sent me his old driver's license and his updated one. His old driver's license, and I fucking never laughed harder because he suddenly like went bald and bearded at like 21, 22.
Yeah, like he lost all his hair and then grew this massive beard.
So if you put those licenses together, it looks like the victim of a sex crime next to the predator.
He played both roles in his own movie.
Unintentionally.
But yeah, when we were little kids, he had one contact and then the spiked hair with the frosted tips and shit. Yeah, that was him. But back then, that was cool. Like to have one contact. Like he didn't have a prescription. He didn't need it.
I
It just
clearly missed that.
it just
that
changed his eye
trend.
color. Bro, you didn't listen to enough Corn.
Or watch enough Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, that
Who's
was,
playing tonight, by the way?
Yeah, that was cool shit back then, man.
That sounds expensive.
Well, his mom had money.
Oh yeah, I've been to their house. Yeah.
Yeah, his mom had money.
It's a bad habit. As an Offspring song, sorry.
I haven't listened to them on purpose in quite a while. I want to. I saw them in 2001 at Bonsai. They were fucking headlining. I just
Fucking
have.
bonsai.
I've never decided to go back and listen to them. I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like I'm gonna hit a day where something's gonna trigger it, and I'm gonna go through back their entire anthology. It hasn't happened yet. And I still love Offspring.
That show was the reason I started to like Linkin Park, because I hated Linkin Park until that Bonsai show. Because I know the one you're talking about. Linkin Park played, and they
Yeah.
were fucking amazing.
Everybody played. That Oleander was there.
Space Hog?
Stained. Head PE. Does anybody
Yeah.
actually fucking remember Head PE?
Yeah,
like
Hey bartender.
everybody was there.
You know what I really liked about that Stain show? The Stain show? I will never forget it. So Aaron Lewis is sitting there at the front of the stage, and he's kneeled down on one knee, right? And he's got his head down into the microphone. And I forget what song they were singing. It was like a slow intro part or whatever. And someone threw a water bottle, and it was beelined right at his fucking head, right? And right before it hits him, he like looks up and catches the bottle right in front of his face, doesn't skip a beat, keeps singing, drops the water bottle, and finishes the tune.
I
Like,
remember that.
fucking A.
This-
Holy shit.
Is that like the video on Facebook or YouTube where you see the guy, they're doing like some festival in Oslo or whatever, and this beer, 12-ounce beer in a cup, comes flying through the audience, and this guy who's obviously singing, he's the singer, on top of the audience, like doing like a crowd surf, but standing there singing, he raises his arm, and almost like a magnet, the cup right into his hand. He pulls it down, throws back the remainder of whatever was left in the 12-ounce cup.
Because that's the
tosses,
move. That's the move.
Tosses the cup and keeps singing. Like, that is on the internet. Like, you can see that.
Because when you're so
Amazing.
amazing, you have to make it seem like you planned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
But I remember that show too because Offspring was the big headliner. They were the last ones
And
to
they
play.
hadn't been back in like 10 years or something, like a big deal.
And I was thoroughly disappointed because they sound like shit live. But at the end of their show, they brought out a fire hose and they were spraying the fucking crowd.
They also had intermission because they got that on one of their albums. Intermission. It was just a fat guy that fucking people pelted with water bottles for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I don't know what this guy's making, but give him 10% tip. Like he's. Thank you, man. Thank you, fat man. I love that show because the guy that I went to high
Where
school.
was it? Bonsai? Where was that?
Bayfront Park.
Yeah.
Okay, so we used to have this radio station down here called Zeta.
Right.
And Zeta.
I still follow him on Facebook. Nobody ever posts, but
Yeah, Zeta used to play rock and stuff like that.
they had
Yeah.
Zeta Fest.
Yeah, they had a
Like,
Zeta Fest. They used to sponsor the Halloweeny roast, and they did Bonsai. So they would set up their own concerts, and then bring all these big acts down here, like all these cool bands used to come through here. Alice in
Halloween
Chains,
roast like was amazing.
Yeah, System of a Down.
I saw STP, Filter, and I think Local H in like in one show, and it was Zeta Fest. Like,
Jerry Cantrell played at one of the Bonsais, or not, or that might have been Zeta Fest. 30 Seconds to Mars. Rob Zombie used to always be on the bills.
I've seen him twice, not on purpose. I didn't even realize he was going to be there.
Yeah.
And he's terrible live.
What? His live show is great.
I was drunk. I don't remember. That's fine.
I've seen him live.
I've seen him like 12
His
times.
sound was terrible.
I've seen him like 12 times because, like
And
I said, he was on every bill for
He
every
was all
Zeta show.
butthurt because he wasn't getting enough applause. I mean, he like complete ass.
Jeb Bush,
Face.
please clap.
Yeah, right? Please clap. Please do something. The guy was a complete fucking dickhole. Like,
Really?
yeah. We as a matter of fact, it was down at Bayside, one of the first shows I ever saw in South Florida, and Avenged Sevenfold was right before them, and it was as Bat Country was hitting,
Oh, so yeah, everyone went there to see that.
but they were fucking good. The Rev was still alive. They were slightly unknown. They only had the one hit, but the songs that weren't Bat Country were fucking awesome.
Dude,
And their
sounding-
sound was amazing. And I think that set them apart. Like, they sounded great. They were clear. The low ends were hitting. The vocals were clear. Zombie came on, and it was like,
It sounded like this. Yeah,
it was fucking terrible. It was
See,
bad.
I got into Avenged Sevenfold before Backcountry. My buddy George got me into them. They had an album called Sounding the Seventh Trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking amazing.
Great musicians all the way around.
Yeah.
Really good technically.
You know what's funny? Those guys all started off. They were just friends, and they just bought instruments, decided to start a band, and then started learning to play.
What
So-
other band did that? There was like the Beach Boys or something, or
I don't know. Fucking Beach Boys.
it was them, and like there's like
How old
Two
are
or
you?
90. There's like 2 or 3 bands that have done that. Like, you know, that-
Seriously, we should do that, but with a podcast.
I think it was Offspring. It was Offspring.
What?
That did that. That they were like, let's just buy instruments and start playing them. If I'm not mistaken, I think Offspring was one of them.
I wouldn't be surprised because I think I don't remember if it's a singer, but like one of them's got like a doctorate in like molecular biology or something. Like they're all smart guys.
No, that's the lead singer.
Is it okay?
What's his name? Not Noodles. Is it Noodles?
Noodles is guitarist.
Uh,
I don't know the singer. He sucks.
I never remember his name, but I just keep picturing him from that movie Idle Hands, where like the fucking hand drops down and like scalps him. Shit movie, but So much fun to watch while high.
I'm blanking on his name, but I know he's the doctor.
Dexter?
Who's the guy from Dexter?
Yeah.
And the guy from Bad Religion? Bad Religion, right?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
No idea.
Greg
wow.
Gaffin?
I just know you got to keep them separated
Ugh,
and got to get away.
Hey,
terrible.
Whatever, man. I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
Oh, we opened the door. Like you can't stop him now. Like it's just happening.
Pun City.
I will
You want to
always
go play it?
I will always remember Bonsai for one reason. The guy that I went to high school with, I just couldn't stand him. It was nothing wrong with him. He just was good looking, and he just like nailed everybody that I wanted to nail. And it gave him like a really irritating confidence. His name is Graham, and it was annoying. It's like, dude, you don't even have context for why you are this confident. But we had talked about this show, like, I think it sold out like really fucking quick too. So I actually had a guy take a swing at me because I told him I was going to the show, but he couldn't. And I'm like, worth it, because I'm still going and you're not. But and this is also why I will always love Space Hog forever, because Space Hog was like one of the first shows on. Like, daylight was still out. I'm walking in with Graham, who I hate for reasons I can't even conceptualize at the time, because I'm like, 17, 18. And we like get our tickets taken, walk in, and out of nowhere, a beer bottle flies, hits Graham in the eye, cut underneath his eye. Paramedics take him away. He missed the entire show. I'm like, this is gonna be a good night.